Okay, and yes, hopefully you guys can hear. Okay. Okay, cool. Okay, YouTube guys, can you hear? Let me know. If you can't, just let me know. Either way, we're back on the space. Lots to speak about. The question is, what is going on? Israel continues to bomb Lebanon. Things continue to escalate. Quite a lot to speak about. And we're going to get into the space in order to speak about it. In the meantime, guys, do me a favor, retweet, reshare, let everybody know we're live. Let's try and get as many people in here as possible. Let's go to Andy. Andy, thanks for joining us. Hope you're doing well. Give us your thoughts.
I mean, yeah, Israel keeps testing Lebanon and Iran, and then it's like seems like they're trying to get as close to the red line as possible, and every time they always seem to cross that red line. So it's not a matter of if, but when they're going to cross that red line and bomb Beirut and that other area and drag Iran into the war. And I think they want to drag Iran into the war because they want an excuse to then say, well, Iran attacked us, and then they're going to say, Iran violated the ceasefire, and there was no ceasefire because the deal was supposed to include Lebanon. And as we know, the day after the so-called ceasefire in April, they did their worst massacre in Lebanon of the war and killed 357 people. So Israel trying to claim that they're upholding a ceasefire is completely ludicrous when they've been genociding the people of Lebanon. So they want to drag Iran into the war. Then they're going to say, oh my God, Iran violated this non existent ceasefire. So then they're going to attack Iran back. And then the U.S. is going to be like, well, we can't let Israel get destroyed because, and then they'll use that to drag the U.S. back into the war. And obviously, the American people won't support it. But Trump doesn't need the support of the American people, as you know. He doesn't care about that. All he needs is his 35 to 38% of the people that somehow still believe the lies that he's selling. And he'll be like, we're back in this war. As I've always said, Iran can never have a nuclear weapon, and he'll keep pushing that propaganda and going back to Ukraine. I mean, Putin has launched some bigger strikes these past 2 weeks, and I mean, Ukraine should obviously be grateful that some people actually still wage war in a normal manner, and everyone isn't like Benjamin Netanyahu that in Israel, because obviously it's been going on much longer than Benjamin Netanyahu, that views war as let's genocide the enemy. Because if Putin was as evil as Benjamin Netanyahu and the Israeli government, that Ukraine war would have been over in a week and you'd have hospitals and schools and everything being bombed. But no, Putin actually wages war how war is supposed to be waged, where you use precision strikes, you fight it out on the ground, and you see what happens. And he still gets called Hitler, and they come up with these crazy ideas that, oh, he wants to take over and reestablish the Soviet Union, and he's going to go all the way and march and conquer all of France and go conquer all of Europe, despite him never having said that. He's explicitly said he wants to take over the mostly Russian speaking parts of Ukraine. So this idea that he wants to reestablish the Soviet Union is just fear mongering to get Europeans on board with funding Ukraine in the same way that they use this fear of this Muslim takeover in the United States to get the MAGA base on board with supporting the war in Iran. They use this propaganda. There's no Muslim takeover in the United States, and there's no threat of a new Soviet Union in Europe. It's just propaganda, but it's effective. Like I've been in another space and some European, she wasn't even native to Europe, she was some immigrant from somewhere in Asia, and she's like, Europeans are hardy in the winter, we can go with ration heat and go without heat for some days with higher energy prices to stand with Ukraine. And it was like, are you kidding me? Like, that's one of the most ridiculous things I've ever heard. Like, it's just ridiculous. Like I think if you polled the average European and said, should we buy Russian oil and gas so we can have cheaper energy again, I think the majority of Europeans would say yes. If you ask the majority of Europeans, should we keep sending money to Ukraine? I don't know if the majority of Europeans would really be on board with that anymore. Maybe they would, but I'm not so sure anymore if it comes at the expense of them having affordable electricity. Because I mean, energy prices in Europe are through the roof. Like it's bad enough, and like it's through the roof. Like people can't, like the cost of living is bad enough in the United States. It's even worse in Europe because of the energy costs. Like gas is like ridiculous there. Like people can't afford to fill up their tanks. Like we think it's bad here at what, 4.40 a gallon. Like in Europe, it's like $2 a liter, which equates to like $8 a gallon. Which, like, if that happened in the U.S. and people were paying those prices in the U.S., like you'd have everyone out in the streets here if that was happening there. So like I have no clue how people are even getting by in Europe. That's, I mean, obviously people don't drive as much in Europe. They have public transportation, so it's a bit of a different culture. Like, so you don't have people driving 30 miles in an hour commute to work and bumper to bumper traffic to the same extent, but it's an economic issue, and that's what I think this war, as Simon has accurately pointed out, is they want to drag it out for another few years, do as much wealth extraction as possible, and extract another $1 trillion while bleeding the West dry. Well, and it's a white Christian brother war, and they don't really care. Christians die, Muslims die. I mean, Christians die in this war. Muslims are dying in the Middle East. I mean, they don't care. We're disposable, and then elites are getting money at the top.
Thanks for that. Yeah, he didn't say that. He said there would be a short
No,
war.
he didn't talk about the Christians and Muslims dying part, but he talked about the wealth extraction. I added the second part
I
on.
mean, I think that was us who said that his position was that it was going to be a very short war to pass over power to others.
Well, no,
Um,
I was talking about the Ukraine war. He said would be a few more years.
okay, whatever. This just makes no sense at all. Nothing you said that made sense then. Let's go to Andrew. Andrew, jump in, give us your thoughts.
Hey, Suleiman, thank you. I'm joining in a little late. Sorry. I've updated, it's relevant. I've updated a blog study about Beirut, Lebanon, 1982. And this is extremely relevant. What I witnessed, and I updated it, was, and I put some thoughts together and also did some research. What the IDF did, what Israel did in Beirut, Lebanon in 1982 was very carefully covered up. And there was genocide. There was massive graves dug up by bulldozers. Ryan Dawson is going to go through that with me when things get quieted, whenever that happens. But Suleiman, we're seeing the exact same thing playing out right now. But now, here, this is not 1982 anymore. This here we see, because thank God for social media, we see the day by day, moment by moment genocide being conducted by the IDF. But back then, and this has to be dug up again. When we landed there in 1982, we kept hearing these reports that there's massive graves that were covered up by bulldozers, right? And when we were on the ground, I wasn't with to go to the actual with the Marines to actually go look at that stuff. But immediately we were told nothing to see here. We don't talk about that. Move on, move along. Nothing to see here. But we were continually talking about it in the background. And we were more concerned, and I've said this before, Suleiman, we were more concerned about the IDF because they were shelling. Even though it was a ceasefire, we had United States Marines on the ground at the airport. Ceasefire. But every day from the binoculars, the big eyes, I was approximately 2 nautical miles offshore on a ship. And we could hear the woof, the feeling that when the percussion hits you. They were hitting downtown Beirut. They were shelling the hell out of it. Like, where in the hell are those rounds coming from? Oh, The IDF. They're firing some artillery. What? There's a ceasefire. Don't worry about it. Nothing to see here. Move along now. At night, when we went on missions, the rules of engagement would be laid out. And I know people say Hezbollah did not exist. Yes, they did. But we didn't give a shit about a rip about the Hezbollah. We didn't even care about the Druze, even knowing that they were IDF militia or even the Christian militias that were involved in that. We were more concerned about being collateral damage from the IDF, from their F-16s, whatever, and their artillery shells. So this this is really coming back to me hard and heavy. And I'm not coming on here like some psycho, I'm having a PTSD moment. No, what I'm doing now is getting recall from what happened in 1982 as I put the pieces together. It makes me so damned angry. And with righteous indignation, Suleiman, this is why we must speak out, because we were told continually, nothing to see here, move along. Oh, USS Liberty? Let's don't talk about that. Nothing to see there. That was just an identification issue where the IDF didn't know that was an American ship. We know that's an outrageous lie. We've heard Phil many times turning in that. We know that's an outrageous lie. And now here we are again, the American public being told nothing to see here, move along. They just killed more, probably what, 50, 70, 120. I don't know how many innocent Lebanese, how many innocent lives in the West Bank, how many innocent lives in Gaza have been killed today. Nothing to see, move along now. What's for lunch? How about barbecue Americans? They're more worried about their damned fuel prices. Well, I guess what I'm saying, Suleiman, we have to keep getting the word out. We are getting the word out. And in your interviews, thank God these military, geopolitical experts that are weighing in on this, people are starting to really ask questions. This is happening. Thank God, Suleiman. God bless you. Love you, brother. Keep fighting the good fight. I'm learning in your spaces every day.
Thanks for that, Andrew. Let's go to True Marga. True Marga, jump in, give us your thoughts.
Thank you so much, Solomon. I think maybe, Andrew, you could talk back to this, but shouldn't we just assume what we see is what they want from now on? I mean, what they say doesn't mean anything, right? And I'm actually not taking your side or Trump's side. I'm kind of in the middle. I just like to throw in my words. You guys can say anything you want about it. I could be, my mind's open. So, but isn't all out war? I mean, if we were in
every time Suleiman, sorry about that. When you watch Suleiman's interviews and stuff like that, we're saying it, they're saying it, Suleiman's saying it very clearly. The world is, there is a war going on. There's not a ceasefire. There's no ceasefire. There's no peace a deal's being worked out. It'll be continually kick the can down the road again. But there is genocide every day, several times a day, genocide, innocent lives being slaughtered by the satanic Israeli regime, and America is part and parcel, completely a part of it. I'm being honest here, sir. And you can believe, of course, believe what you want to believe. And I'm speaking the truth from both experience of being there, living it, seeing it. And I was right there on the front of it, and we were being told, nothing to see here, move along. Oh, don't worry about the mass graves. Nothing to see here. I was with the Marines on shore, and there was a crack sound of a whip. It was a pop sound, and I was a young lieutenant junior grade, and I'm ashore resupplying the Marines, right? And I said, hey, Gunny, what in the hell was that? Don't worry, some idiot's shooting at us. What? Yeah, don't worry about it. If he hits you, you won't feel a thing. Hey, have some coffee. I said, no, thanks. You guys, you Marines do that kind of stuff. I want to go back on the ship. And then we would ask questions. Wait, who's shooting at what? Who's shooting at what? Who? How come the Israelis did this? No, don't worry about it. Wait, don't worry about what? And our men and women are caught up into this, and Trump's going to throw them into it again somehow, some way. And that's why I'm speaking out. I lost my son in the weapons of mass destruction war. Okay, that's a lie from hell. So, stop stop taking the position, sir, and I say this with love and respect, of, well, that's what you say. We got to look at the other side. Look at the evidence. Whatever you hear from the Pentagon, whatever you hear from Hegseth, whatever you hear from Trump is 99.99% a lie. It's a lie from hell. It's the same lies Netanyahu says. I will believe the Iranians more than I believe my own country. That's where I'm at in this. That's where I'm at in this when I put this together.
Yeah, I mean, I like to hear you say anything you want to say. That's fine. I'm not. I mean, yeah. I mean, like I said, I'm open minded. But as a soldier, I mean, if this was like World War II for our existence war, and we were all going to die if we don't win, that Iran would be nothing, right? You guys keep saying that Iran won. Iran won. It cracks me up. I mean, what did they win?
Yeah, they
What
won.
won
They
you?
won. Wake up. They won, sir. What does win look like? The strait is still closed. The United States we look like our horse's ass because we cannot open the strait back up. And and who won? Iran won, and America lost it. Past tense. I'll draw you a picture.
That's what I'm talking to. I heard you yesterday. I mean, I'm trying to talk with respect. I'm just asking you, as a soldier, as an American soldier.
I'm speaking to you with the highest level of respect.
If we were in a battle of our existence, are you saying Iran would beat the United States in an all-out war?
Of course not, because you know what an all-out war is. Come on, let's get real. Let's put our big boy pants on. That would be nuclear mutual assured destruction. We'll take him out with nuclear weapons. Of course we will. Now, come on. Let's talk all-out war. What does that look like? Do you want to say all-out conventional war? Nope. All-out conventional war, Iran would kick our ass. Yep, sure would. The only thing we have that could defeat them would be nuclear wipeout. Yeah, that's right. That's right. I hope you understand that.
I don't disagree with you. Okay, but
Yeah.
let me move on to this one. Let me just move on to this.
Wait, before you move on, one second, True Maga, before you move on.
Go ahead, sorry.
You said, you find it shocking that we're saying Iran won, is US lost. Please explain to me, as someone who has been following this, in which category has the United States of America won this war?
I mean, are you talking to me? I'm not saying that we're winning. No, I was saying in an all-out war for our existence.
That's
I think
silly. Or in an all-out war, what would happen?
Winning this,
that's like saying, in an all-out war, China would beat America. That means China's beat America. That makes no sense at all. We're talking about this specific war, the US against Iran. Your claim was because what you said is you all keep saying Iran won. We didn't say, nobody in this space said, if Iran evades the US, they would win. You're just restating you're basically shifting away from your original claim. So based on your original claim, please explain to me, based on your original claim, how the United States of America has won.
No, I understand what you're saying. I'm talking to Andre basically when he's saying, he just said it a second ago. We have won. It's over. It's past tense. Did he just say that or not?
Yeah, you lost the war. It's over. Okay. America lost the war.
So you're saying Iran won right now then?
I just said that, but now I'm asking you. You're disagreeing with it. Explain to me how America won. You keep asking questions without answering.
Well, I mean, what you're saying is it's all over. I mean, I'm not trying to be disrespectful.
Okay, then answer the question.
It's not over, right?
Answer the question. Has America won the war?
No, I mean, I think we're still in the war. I don't think anybody's won at this point.
So do you think that America can win the war?
Well, that was kind of my point I was bringing up. It depends how you define war, right? Like Andre just said. I mean, of course, the United States would. Andre, isn't that the guy that was just talking? Andre?
Yeah, Andrew. That's okay.
Andrew, I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm sorry, Andrew. Yeah, that's what Andrew was just saying, that, of course we would if we use nukes and all that. And
again,
we can debate that or whatever. I don't think we have to use
for your own opinion. So now your claim is the war is still ongoing. Is the kinetic part of the war still ongoing?
Oh, very much so.
Oh, is it? Please, can you explain to me where America's firing at kinetically?
I mean, just the other day, it was 70 people in Lebanon. I mean, It's just like it's going on and on and
That's
on. I don't think
Israel.
it's
Okay,
over.
so
I
you
think
probably
it's
don't know the
Israel.
difference between Israel and America. I understand that because they occupy America. You see them as the same. I'm asking you, the United States of
I
America.
mean, we're actually merging. We're a lot of our stuff. We built the Iron Dome to say a lot of our technology is
Okay, so
the
you
same.
see the
It's
Israeli
one of
army.
our
Okay,
main
that's fine.
interests.
You
So
see the
you could
Israeli
base.
army is America. Okay, so you're losing even in Lebanon. Your army is being decimated in Lebanon as well.
No, I'm not saying you guys are
No,
wrong. I'm just
you're losing
saying.
in Lebanon so badly. You are losing in Lebanon. Because you're telling me Israeli army is your army, you are losing in Lebanon as well.
No, Israeli army is not my army.
You just
I
said that
could
they
get into that
merged. You
point.
just literally said that they're the same. They merged. So I'm saying your army. You know what it is? You keep making
Yeah, I
points, and
mean,
each time when I pull you up on the point, you're like, "I didn't say that. I didn't say that." Let me just tell you what happened in this conversation. So I said to you, "Guess what? What kinetic warfare is going on?" You said 70 people in Lebanon are being hit. I said that's not Israel. That's not America. That's Israel. You said, well, they're merging. They won. I said, okay. So if they're merging, they won. That means you are losing in Lebanon as well. Then you said. So I said your army is losing because they've merged with Israel. You're like, that's not my army. So can you see the contradiction in everything you're saying?
we are. They're our main ally over there, and we have to have them over there for all kinds of different reasons. I think you said that the other day,
I never
right?
ever said that.
It's not,
I've never ever said that. That's never been my opinion. There's maybe other people on the panel who claim this, who I feel like they do have some Zionist positions, but I've never ever claimed that. My position is
I mean,
my
Joe was
position.
saying
Sorry?
something about the petrodollar, and you said there's many other reasons. I don't know what you meant
I
by that, but
literally
you
never
have a great
said that.
memory, and
I literally
so
never
I heard
said
you
that,
say
True
it.
Maga. My position is that this war is for Israel. There's other people who come on the panel. Maybe you're getting confused because I can see like this is happening a lot with you. There's other people who come on the panel who make this claim that like, it's not for Israel, it's for the petrodollar, it's for this, it's for that. They'll make a wide range of reasons. Or Israel's a satellite of the United States of America. I've never held that position. My position is very simple. Israel controls the United States of America. This war is solely for Israel. That is my position. Now, there might be other smaller, minor benefits that they'll try and get from this war, but this war is for Israel. So, again, you keep not answering
I was
questions.
going to go into that point. I was going to go into
No,
the
I want you
point
to answer the
exactly
questions I keep
agreeing with
asking you
you.
because I feel like every time I ask you a question, you're like, oh, but this person said this, but that person said that. I don't care about this person, that person. You're on the panel. When them other people are there, I'll have the discussion with them. My question to you is you're saying that the Israeli and American army are one. Do you accept that this army that is one is losing in Lebanon?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they're winning. I mean, I don't think the thing's over. I mean, I'm not keeping track of every little battle. I mean, you know more about that
Losing.
than I
I
do right
said,
now.
are they?
At this
I didn't
point,
say
maybe they
lost.
are. I mean, I
Again,
just don't
Truma.
think it's over right now.
Okay, please, can you just listen to my words? Because I'm using very precise words. I didn't say lost because it's not over. I said, is Israel and America, because you said they're one army, are they losing in Lebanon? Yes or no? Losing.
I mean, I've been hearing that they're getting attacked by a lot of drones, and I mean, it sounds like they're not winning, right?
So if they're not winning, what's the other way of saying they're not winning?
Well, I mean, yeah, I
If
mean,
me and
they're
you are
battling. I
playing a
guess they could be
game,
losing.
sorry?
Doesn't really matter. I mean, it's like
Well,
the
it
war
does
is
because I
not
think you're not
over.
being
It's
very like it's
depending
just.
what they decide to
I
do,
just feel
right?
like
I
you're not
don't think
being
they
very
should be
grown
doing
up
anything.
about this. Like the problem is, I'm like, are they winning? You're like, yeah, they're not losing. And I'm like, okay, I'm like, are they losing? They're like, no, you're not. They're not winning. It's like just semantical. Like, can we not have an adult conversation where you say, oh, but I'm saying a different word now, which means the same thing.
Well, if you let me explain, like you say, I said that they're merged with one army, but you didn't let me go further on that point. Why I think that?
I
So
already
can I
know
talk
that.
about
I've
that
done
for a
about 4 or
second?
5 shows on it. It's section 224 you're referring
Yeah,
to
right.
of the
But
NDAA.
I'm just
But
saying
you're
that, like
applying
you
it
guys keep
incorrectly,
saying it.
but you were applying it in a very foolish way because I asked you, is Israel losing in Lebanon? And you said, well, they're the same army as us because they've merged in one. Then I said, okay, that's fine. Let's go with what you just said now. You just said they're the same army, they merged in one. Is this army losing? And you went, well, they're not losing, they're not winning. And I'm like, okay, what is going on here? What is happening with this conversation?
Okay, let's say I say they're losing. What's your next point?
Okay, so you accept that they're losing there. Okay, now in because not, but the whole point is so now coming back to um the point here was because I said when it comes to Iran, you were like, oh, people here keep saying America lost. And it's like, yeah, America lost this war. The kinetic part of this war is over. We're now and according to your own president, he said the kinetic part of the war is over. We're now in a kind of economic battle or whatever you want to call it. And in both of those elements, Iran is winning. And in terms of the kinetic part of the war, Iran won. And so, how you know they won is first of all, the kinetic part is over. And if you look at Trump, he was willing to give Iran everything. Now, we have two separate reports on why the deal broke down. But in that deal, he was willing to give Iran everything because they were the victors and he was the loser, or as you call it, not loser, not winner. So, not winner, let's use your language. He's not winner. And then in reality, then we have two reports on why they pulled out. So report number one claims that actually Iran pulled out because they still don't trust Trump. So even though he bent the knee on everything, they don't trust him. This is what Treat Tapasi is reporting. Other people are reporting that the Israelis, who you are saying are America as well, they got involved and made Trump pull out of the deal. Whatever the reason for why the deal broke off, it's quite clear that the reason why it's quite clear from the negotiations and on social media where the Israelis lost it and Ted Cruz and various others jumped on the phone with Trump that Trump was willing and ceding to every one of Iran's demands almost because he lost the war.
Okay, would you agree that there's hundreds of peace deals that have been just complete bullshit?
Yeah, when you do a peace deal with America or Israel, it ends up being complete bullshit, you're right. But that's unfortunate, isn't it? Don't you think there's going
There's
to be
hundreds and hundreds, like 160 actually, of these documented peace deals that are just like a scam. Okay, so let me just talk for 1 second. You could yell at me after that. I was going to say that Trump is one man. He's like taking a selfie at the ocean. Everybody's like looking at this giant wave behind him. He turns around at the last second and the wave hits you. You know that. So that's what happens when you get into Congress. They're all bought and paid off, right? You know that. You've been telling me that. So he's trying to fight this stuff, right? You guys keep saying it's Trump, it's Trump, it's Trump, but look, you got to spend $1 billion to even run for president. Why? Because there's so much opposition just to get in. But once you get in, these guys are all lawyers, like Raskin, all these guys. They got like 40 other lawyers working for them. It's so difficult to fight this freaking wave. It's just my opinion. If you think I'm wrong, I'm listening, but I don't want to be disrespectful. But I just think he's so influenced. To get into office, you can't just go against everybody because you're not going to get anything done. So I don't know. I mean, I don't think we should be any foreign wars. I don't like it. I mean,
So you're saying Trump isn't responsible for the war in Iran?
that's a great question. I mean,
that was what you
that's
said.
why you're
You said he's
saying
the
that.
commander in chief, but he's
I mean, how am I going to answer that?
Sorry?
I said that's a great question. That's why you're Suleiman. I mean, for me to answer that, say that one more time. So Trump isn't responsible for the war. I mean, he's a president. He should be. I agree with that. I mean, but think of it. There's so much influence in there. I don't think he should have done it. I'm not like with him, but I just don't. When you say Iran already won, I don't think it's over. Maybe I'm wrong. I mean, I'm listening. I'm not.
Well, that was Andrew's point. My position is this, that Iran's won this element of the war. Now, what happens after this is Iran is winning. Now, so I believe that Iran won the kinetic element of the war. This current element of the war, which is the blockade, is almost, it's kind of just a bit of a stalemate, but you can't really say there's a winner or a loser. It's just an economic damage that's been done to the entire world. If the war goes kinetic again, I do think that Trump will lose the war again. So that's my position. And I think that the reason why Trump isn't going back into the war is because he lost so badly in these 39 days that he's now thinking, I don't want to go back into the war because I don't want to lose so badly even more. So that's the point that I believe Andrew was making when he was saying you lost the war. But in terms of this being Trump's fault. He is the commander in chief. He is the man in charge. He is the decision maker. He made those decisions to go into war. And so you can't be like, oh, but Trump went in there and he had to do this and that. No, you were the person in charge. We've had presidents before of the United States of America. Allegedly, they claim, we don't know if it's true or not, they could be lying, but they claim that Netanyahu was come to each and every single one of them and said, let's do this war with Iran, and they all said no to him. It's only Trump who said yes to him, likely because of the Epstein files, but could be because of other reasons as well. Who knows? It can't be just because he's making money himself. He's not really bothered. He's like, whatever, I'm gonna make money of these.
He was cleared from the Epstein files today. You didn't hear that?
No, what was he cleared to? Explain to me.
It was just a clip I was reading. He was cleared. I'd have to research it more, but I'm not
You're
making it
a
up.
huge claim. I've not seen this
It was
anywhere.
probably some. I mean, I don't know if it's a true statement or not, but I did read it. I'm telling you, it said Trump is cleared from the Epstein files.
Right. The
And
problem
the
is,
stuff I
True
read is
Marga.
usually true,
Okay,
guys.
this
I'm
is
telling you, I haven't
True
researched.
Marga. This is very like
I'm
this.
sure
I don't run my
you get a
spaces
full
based on
screen.
stupidity. Like I don't want you to announce something on the space which is completely and utterly false. Now, if you've got a specific report that states this, please bring it, put it in the comments, and we'll go through it. I'm very
Yeah, I'll look at it.
confident, but not certain, obviously. I'm very confident that what you're saying is just inaccurate and you're portraying false information on my space, which I don't like. So if you can now, the onus is on you to provide the proof. I want you to keep your mic muted while you look for the proof and evidence of your claim, because I'm very confident in saying that what you're saying is completely false, because this would be everywhere. Trump cleared of the Epstein files. Oh my God, Trump's not in the Epstein files. Trump wasn't trying to defend his friends in the Epstein files. Marjorie Taylor Greene claims that Trump got on the phone with him and said, listen, my friends are going to be in trouble in the Epstein files. Don't release them. So, well, let's see now. Let's see this bombshell information that only you have, and this other random tweet that you saw, which you think is news. Let's wait for you to bring that out. Let's go to, in the meantime, Epstein. Oh, funny enough, Epstein. Have you cleared Trump of the Epstein files?
No, that's got to be one of the more ridiculous things I've seen. Wasn't he mentioned in them like 18,000 times, and that's all been redacted? That's what I believe. I don't have any evidence for that, but that's when they released the files. That's what I remember seeing. People were searching his name and whatnot. But yeah, no, this has been a crazy conversation. I'm really glad you had to pull every tooth out of his head to get him to break down finally and just say that Trump's cleared of collaboration with Jeffrey Epstein and being in the files. That. This has been one bizarre space. But Andrew, love you, brother. Your opinions on this stuff and your passion for it, I really appreciate it. I really love it. Every time I hear you on here. Yeah, that was a crazy conversation, Suleiman. I don't even know where to go from here, so I'll just land it there and say thank you for the space. Yeah, and everybody retweet, reshare, repost this, jump on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe. Thank you very much, everyone.
What is with today's panel? I brought Gigi up as well. Normally, Gigi asks like a random question that's so unrelated to derail. So let's see if she does that, or she can stay on topic and say something. In the meantime, let's go to Andrew. Andrew, there is reports that what do you call it again? Oh, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, there are reports that Trump is claiming that the ceasefire, that they are still negotiating with Iran. Trump is still claiming that things are going ahead in terms of everything. Do you think this is just desperation because of to manipulate this market, or what do you think is going on there?
Yes, sir. To all the above, to manipulate the market, which is shocking. It still seems to be working to some extent, which I can't believe, but it has been working to some extent. Also, Suleiman, he's a man of many words. He's the showman of the hour. He's a big, giant, fake fraud, and sadly breaks my heart. Millions of Americans were duped into believing the reprobate. But he's just throwing out more, hoping something's going to stick on the wall, Suleiman. He's in all of your experts, folks that you yourself included, and these experts are a lot smarter than me, are saying it. The obvious is now becoming very obvious that he is a fraudster, just putting his narrative out there, and Americans, and even some in the West, and this very dear Iranian woman who's living overseas, she pleaded with me. She said, please, we have to believe in Trump. And I said, honey, why? Why would you say that, my dear? Why? Tell me. And she said, quote, because he is the hope we need. The hope we need. What? To make Iran great again? To clean out the regime, as you call it, and to clean up and make America great and Israel great again? Yes, that's the hope. So I immediately gave her a number of a great therapist that I know, and Mildred has helped me through some rough spots. But they're under this, they're Suleiman, they're under this very sickening delusion that Trump is going to bring everything, sprinkle some fairy dust on it. But there's nothing there. It's a nothing burger, sir. And you know this, Suleiman. But God bless you. You weigh everything out. You squeeze every drop of evidence out of everything. You look under every rock. And even the mistakes I've made since I've known you in the past year, you patiently gone through them. But Trump, I don't believe a word he says. Even if Trump told me, "Hey, it's raining outside," I would literally walk outside and check and say, "Well, yeah, I guess it might be. Yeah, I guess you're right." I don't. I believe the Iranians more than him. I believe the Iranians 10 times 10 more than I believe the reprobate. And I'll guarantee you one thing, any word, and it's shocking. I know I'm having a moment, but I went through some deep research from Beirut, Lebanon in September 1982. And I don't know if our listeners, if many of them were even alive in September of 1982, but I sure was. I was a young lieutenant, junior grade, and the evidence that I'm finding that I was asking questions and I was told by a senior commander, yeah, nothing, yeah, don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Just focus on your objective. But I have a question. No, you don't have a question. Move along. Nothing to see here. Well, now I'm finding that those very deep concerns I had were covered up, and lies on top of lies were told to cover up more, to cover up more. And if anyone goes on right now and searches Mossad's involvement in the Beirut, Lebanon barracks bombing that killed 230 some of our Marines, you'll say, no, Israel had nothing to do with that. Okay, if you believe that, then you believe Israel had nothing to do with 9/11. You'll believe that Israel had nothing to do with the USS Liberty. Yeah, and you'll also believe that Santa Claus will come and visit you December 25. So please, people, get out of your delusion. Sorry, Suleiman, I went off on the rails there, but yeah, Trump is just talking his talk. I don't believe a word, sir.
Trumaga, have you got your evidence?
Not really. You're right. It's just probably a YouTube channel that was saying it. Is what I'm trying to research what I was looking at. I just read Democrats react as Trump is cleared from Epstein case, but it could be bullshit. I mean, it's a YouTube channel, American Uncovered is what the channel's
So we
called.
need some real news rather than some propaganda from a random MAGA YouTube channel.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah, exactly. So we don't allow fake news on this channel. Let's go to Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan, jump in.
Oh, hey, man. Yeah, I just wanted to make one quick point, which is clearly Trump cares a lot about the stock market because that's his yardstick of if the economy is doing well. So I do believe that the rumors that he's trying to time the SpaceX IPO, which will be like, the biggest IPO in in US history, he's trying to time some big announcement of a deal or a ceasefire. Now whether he will adhere to that is a whole other question, but that's happening in June. And the reality is you've got a few other big ones. Anthropic is looking to IPO, OpenAI wants to IPO, and if this SpaceX IPO doesn't work out, is going to create a lot of issues. So I really believe that he's going to do the back and forth, and try to time this IPO. And if you dig into they're trying to change some of the rules to get SpaceX into the various indexes. So clearly, it is one that's super important. So I would not expect any sort of peace agreement to be announced before that. And then whether it last after that, who knows? Probably not. But probably for the following at least 3 to 6 months, he will probably try and make the stock market look good. That was my only point.
Yeah. So you think that he's not going to do anything then for the next few months?
Oh no, I think that the dance back and forth is going to keep going for the next few months. But I believe that, because how the stock markets react, it reacts very quickly. So I would imagine that he would try and time some sort of, now we've really reached an agreement, and really try to push something. But that would be within a week from the IPO, maybe less, because if you guys have seen, the stock market reacts very quickly. And if you look at, it's not a coincidence that everything happens on a Friday, right? They try to control what happens in the market. Doesn't matter if it's positive or negative. A lot of stuff happens on a Friday. So yes, I don't think the date is set, but it's sometimes in June. But yeah, I would suspect that, yeah, a week around when that happens is where some sort of big announcement will come.
Okay. Let's go to actually Manco's here. Manco, how you doing?
Hey, how's it going?
Bro, you lost your reputation. This new listener who came thought you were shilling so bad for Israel. It sounds like you're just shilling for Israel over the US now.
That's so weird because that wasn't what I was saying at all,
You
and it had
were.
nothing to do with that.
You were.
I was actually, if anything, you would say I was praising Iran because they were playing 4D chess on Trump.
No, because he's that guy was from America. So his position is, oh, guess what? I'm given the Iranian position and you're given the Israeli position. And the reason he's saying you're given the Israeli position is because you're like, no, 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 no. Israel did not make Trump pull out Israel out of the deal, and Israel didn't do any of these things, and Israel's just being blamed by Iran. That's what basically the crux of your argument, if I was to boil it down. And so that's what he heard, and that's why he was like, okay, you can, pump Israel, and this guy can support Iran, but I'm pro-America, so let me jump in.
This is the problem, is that dude was playing 2D chess and Iran is playing 4D chess. And so when he sees the 4D chess, he just assumes it's like a Zionist psyop because he doesn't understand it.
No, but Iran is playing 4D chess. So I agree one element of your argument that Iran has outplayed Trump and they've cornered him. That bit I agree with. The bit I disagree with is your defense of Israel, where you're making it look like that Israel wasn't part of the agreement, when it's quite clear for any rational person who isn't biased that Israel was part of the agreement. Pakistan, the neutral media, said that Lebanon is part of the deal, and you're like, no, no, no. I don't. I agree with the Israelis and JD Vance. And because the whole crux of that point of the argument is that Israel made Trump pull Israel's name out of the deal, or Lebanon's name out of the deal, sorry. So that's one element that you're basically defending Israel, because the argument from Iran's side isn't that Trump never had Lebanon in there. It's that Israel forced Trump to pull Lebanon out, and all the Iranian negotiators are saying, yeah, Lebanon was part of it. The neutral negotiators like Pakistan are saying Lebanon's part of it. So that's the first element where it looks like you're defending them. The second element where it looked like you were defending Israel over the United States of America and Iran was that just this whole situation now. So in this situation, Israel continues to bomb South Lebanon. Iran said that, well, if you bomb Dahiya and Beirut, we're going to devastate northern Israel. Israel then said, well, if Hezbollah hits us, we're going to hit Dahiya and Beirut. And the whole idea of that is to drag the US back into war because Trump doesn't want to go into war again because he's desperate not to go into war. So that's again Israel leveraging Trump and forcing him back into the war. So you sounded like no, that's not true as well. Like no, this is just all Trump. It's nothing to do with Israel. They're just cutie babies. And then so they were just two examples of where it sounded like you were ultra defending Israel.
Yeah, so this has nothing to do with defending Israel. It's just I'm following what I think is true. Pakistan doesn't speak for Israel. There's nothing any Pakistani can say about what Israel's position is, and Israel wasn't even part of the talks. Whether anyone tried to get on the phone with Israel or something is completely
No,
irrelevant.
but you're
They're
not
not a party
understanding. You
to the
keep
talks.
saying Israel's not part of the talks. Then that's like saying nobody's part of the talks, even the Gulf states aren't. But the whole point
No,
is those talks. No, but those talks, Manko. This is why it sounds like you're defending Israel. So those talks specifically, America went into those talks, and JD Vance said this. So I guess you're probably saying that he's lying as well. But he clearly said that we were negotiating on behalf of the Gulf states and Israel, and there is an understanding that Iran will not fire on the Gulf states and Israel. So the US was negotiating on behalf of Israel, just like Iran was negotiating on behalf of Hezbollah, the Houthis, and the Gaza.
well, even if it was true at the time that JD Vance was talking to them, that went absolutely nowhere. So JD Vance might have had a list of Israel given like JD Vance a list and said, this is what we're willing to agree to. And then JD Vance was like, okay, this is our position. And then Iran was like, nope, not at all. Here's the
But once
thing.
again, this is
Israel
not.
has been very
No, but that's.
public.
No, but go ahead.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
Israel has been very public and very consistent that it will never accept any restrictions from any other country, including the United States, on its ability to, quote, defend itself, which actually means its ability to just attack Gaza with impunity and Lebanon with impunity. Like they have been very clear, and Netanyahu said that multiple times. He said Trump has agreed with him multiple times about that. So this is not like Israel's changing its position because it's trying to derail the peace talks. This
Manko,
has just always
no one's
been
position.
Israel's
Again, you're
position.
arguing something no one said. No one said that Israel's changing its position. The argument isn't that Israel changing its position. Israel wants Lebanon. Israel wants to destroy the Middle East. This is a consistent position that they've said publicly and everybody knows about. The argument is that Trump knows that Israel on its own cannot fight a war with Iran. Israel would be decimated without the United States of America helping them offensively and at a minimum defensively. Do you accept that, or do you think Israel can actually beat Iran as well? Because if it is, then this
Yeah, we
conversation.
already know. We
Yeah.
have factual proof from history. The 12-day war. The 12-day war was basically Israel versus Iran, with the United States only doing a single bombing that wasn't relative to the fighting that was going back and forth between Israel and Iran. So we already know that Israel can hold its own against Iran.
But that's false again. So again, you okay? So now I understand you live in a bizarre world. So did the U.S. and the Gulf states and Jordan all help Israel defensively? Yes or no?
I mean, I don't know that the Gulf states did at all.
They did.
Jordan was allowing its like airfields to be used, but I don't
Exactly.
think it was
Exactly.
like much more than that.
Exactly. So they've helped in the war, right? You understand they facilitated somehow, right?
Yeah, like they were allowing the use of
Okay.
bases and things
So
like that, but
so
it wasn't
let's
like Jordan was firing missiles at
no, Jordan
Iran
was.
or anything.
Oh, bro, you keep saying firing missiles. Like, what are you talking about? Jordan wasn't firing missiles now. Was Jordan, did Jordan stop Iranian missiles from hitting Israel? Yes, they did. I mean, let me ask you. Let's
Well,
just.
it was they were using Jordan's airspace to shoot down drones because they can't really do anything about the missiles because the
No, there
missiles
was
fly too high.
missiles. This is false. There was missiles that were shot down over Jordanian airspace. There was even one that ended up hitting into Jordan because the Jordanians had stopped certain missiles from striking. But let me just rephrase the question. And by the way, Israel didn't hold their own. But let me phrase the question. If there's a scenario where the US doesn't offensively help Israel, defensively help Israel, and defensively I mean stopping missiles, stopping drones, helping with the refueling, helping with the fighter jets. If the Gulf states don't allow their countries to be used as air bases, if the Gulf countries don't allow their airspace to be used, if Jordan doesn't, the American base in Jordan isn't used to defend Israel, if all of those things are completely neutralized, as in you're not allowed to use them at all whatsoever, even an iota, it's just Israel, Iran, no defense from anyone, what would happen?
Well, as far as it goes, I mean, Israel's going to do things like violate the airspace of Jordan and Syria anyway, whether they're given permission or not. But the rest of it would be pretty similar. I mean, Iran, none of these other countries can really help much as far as stopping Iran's medium-range ballistic missiles. So those are still going to hit Israel in any scenario. The question is just how much damage can
What
those
about
really
the
inflict?
refueling? What about the? Yeah, this is why you're so pro-Israeli. So now I understand why you should understand why
It's
this.
not
Why
pro-Israeli. This
it
is
is. It's
just
just
like the
ridiculous. Like
reality.
you're out of the
Did
realm of reality. So what
we
you're
already know
basically
for a fact Israel didn't ask permission of Iraq and went and made an airbase in Iraq without their permission and used that.
that's Iraq. Iraq is a country that is completely decimated. Saudi Arabia and UAE, well, UAE is on this side, anyway, but Saudi Arabia, as an example, a prime example, if they were not going to allow Israel to use their airspace, Israel would not use their airspace. If the US wasn't helping, if the US wasn't helping with the refueling, logistically, Israel would have huge problems even getting, especially a lot of the fighter jets getting to Iran. They need the US's help and support. To make this claim, when we've seen ourselves, the US consistently, persistently help Israel through the 12-day war, consistently and persistently help during these 39 days, Israel cannot do it on its own. And so this is why that guy thought you were pro-Israel, and he's right to do so. Now, in terms of coming back to the other point, so when it comes to Trump, Trump has a few options. He could either make a deal with just them and Iran and say, look, Iran, you can just bomb Israel. And the reason he can't do that, I know you can come up with these delusions, but the reason he can't do that is because the Israeli lobby, Israel, and the Zionists all know that in that scenario, Israel would cease to exist. Israel would be decimated from all angles. They need the US's support. And this is why the US has spent during the 12-day war and this war billions upon billions of dollars. And the difference this time to the 12-day war is Iran's position is very simple. Last time we let you get away with being in the defensive posture and helping defensively. This time we're not going to allow it. You offensively hit us, you were part of this war, and this time you will be responsible. And so for that reason, Trump's not allowed to make a deal with Iran which doesn't include Israel. Any deal Trump makes with Iran has to include Israel.
Wait,
Hence
who
why
says that?
every single,
According to who?
according to the people who put Trump in power, like Mariam
You
Edelson,
mean according to
APAC,
Iran, though, right?
sorry?
That's according to Iran, right?
No, that's according to observation that Trump isn't able to make a deal without Israel. Hence why every single negotiation he's done has always included Israel in there. That is according to what's actually happened factually. Every negotiation he's done has included Israel in there. And there's a
Why
reason
don't
for
the
that.
Israelis have like representatives there in the negotiations then? Why is it like just Steve Witkoff or whatever?
Well, Steve Witkoff is essentially an Israeli representative, but I guess what you mean is why isn't Netanyahu there? Like I said to you, because
Like the Israeli foreign minister, whoever.
yeah, yeah. And the reason for that is simple because the Iranians will never meet with the Israelis. And so Trump essentially is negotiating on behalf of Israel. And what he's negotiating is because everybody knows, other than you and the Israelis, obviously, the pro Israel people, that Israel cannot fight this war without the United States of America. And so if the US pulls out, Israel is destroyed. And so US has to, it's like, for example, you being the big brother and your little brother is like going around just fighting with everyone. And each time you go in and help him and you're there as a bodyguard and sometimes you'll punch the other person. And then when it comes down to it, when it's like, listen, Mango, let's make a deal. Let's stop all fighting. the conversation with you, but you're representing your little brother because the guy is gonna literally not be able to defend himself and will get battered by people if he was there fighting himself. That's basically the scenario that we've got. And so Trump has to have a negotiation where he agrees to them being part of it. And so every single deal he's done has been, and JD Vance confirmed this, as has many others, that all of the deals included the Gulf states and Israel. And there wasn't also any Gulf state representatives in that deal, but the Gulf states were part of it as well, Manko. And
No, they
the
have to
whole
agree. Listen, Suleiman, I've studied a lot of history. You don't necessarily have like you don't have the authority to speak for others. They might decide after the fact that they don't agree with you. And this happens in all of the American wars that have involved like other states like Vietnam or Korea or something like that, where the Korean president or the Vietnamese leader would say, like, no, I'm not going to sign on to this deal unless you do these other things for me. This is always part of the problem with negotiations. And we saw this actually happen in this war when Trump decided he was going to do I forget the name of the operation, something where he went into the Strait of Hormuz, and then Iran attacked
Project Freedom.
Yeah, so Iran attacked UAE, and then Trump said, "That's not a big deal. We're not going to respond." And then so they retaliated. UAE and Saudi Arabia retaliated by closing airspace to the United States in order to essentially send the message to Trump, like, you don't get to just make these decisions for us. You have to include us in this. And that's how they did that. So it was kind of like a public display of the fact that it was a failure from the Trump administration, because they should have had this already like cleared in advance of how this was going to happen. And they didn't, but that just goes to show when you have coalition politics, you have to get everyone to agree. And sometimes Trump will agree to things with Iran, but then not necessarily, like, Israel hasn't already agreed to that. So then Trump says it to Israel. And then, like we just saw play out in the last 24 hours, Israel says, no, we don't agree to that. We're not going to do that. Right.
So I agree with that element of it. That's again a totally different element. So is Trump negotiating without informing the details to Israel? Possibly, possibly not. I think they're largely aware of some of the details, but they don't agree to the.
You cut out for me just there. I don't know if it was anyone else, but I didn't hear you for like 10 seconds.
So I agree with you in the sense of when Trump maybe negotiates things, Israel, they'll come out and Israel won't be happy with it. Heck, we've seen it in this, right? That is my position. But your position is that there's no scenario where the United States of America would be negotiating on the behalf of Israel. And I'm saying that's completely false, because we've seen that in the 39-day ceasefire. The 39-day ceasefire, after the 39 days, the reason the ceasefire included Israel, Iran not bomb Israel. That was the United States that negotiated it. Okay, let me ask you this then. It's like I'm talking to this true MAGA guy now. When the 39-day ceasefire was agreed, do you agree that Trump included Israel in that ceasefire?
I think the deal was that both sides would stop attacking, which would mean that obviously Israel would have to stop attacking Iran as well. So it was like a ceasefire for everyone.
Okay, so but you never answered the question. I said, did Trump, because Netanyahu wasn't part of those negotiations, did Trump negotiate on behalf of Israel for Israel to be part of the ceasefire, i.e., Iran not to bomb Israel and Israel not to try and fire missiles at Iran?
I don't think you can imply from that Netanyahu told Trump that that's what he wanted. I think the much more likely scenario is that
that's
Trump.
Not even my position.
Hold on,
but that's not even my position.
Is that Trump
You're imputing
declared
things onto what I said. I'm asking you a very.
I'm not imputing anything.
Yeah,
I'm
Mango,
not
just simply
making,
answer the question, Mango.
Andrew,
Simply yes or no.
Andrew,
All you
don't
say
need to
is
interrupt.
yes or no.
You don't need to interrupt. Andrew, mind your business.
No, but just answer the question, Manko.
Suleiman, Trump went ahead and unilaterally declared what he was going to do, and then Netanyahu just had to go along with it because Trump pressured him to. So that's the most likely interpretation of that.
So Trump, he didn't do it unilaterally because it was something that was agreed between Iran and Trump, correct?
Well, he did do it unilaterally because they didn't have negotiations. He just said, I'm declaring a ceasefire. And Iran decided after the fact that to go along with it.
You're forgetting every single thing that happened in this. I'm just going to assume that you forgot. that in terms of what happened. So let me remind you what happened, and this is just like you. I'm just gonna say you forgot because I don't think you'd be like manipulating. I don't think that's how it's happening. So if you remember, Trump was like, "I'm gonna destroy an entire civilization. There's a 24-hour countdown. We were doing the countdown. Everyone was doing the countdown. When there was 1 hour to go, I believe it was 1 hour, 2 hours to go before the countdown, Trump said, "Okay, me and Iran have agreed to a ceasefire." The Pakistanis came out and said, yes, there's an agreement in terms of the ceasefire. The Iranians came out and said, yes, there's an agreement in terms of the ceasefire. Trump has agreed to the 10 conditions and the 15 conditions or whatever it was, the 15 condition, I think it was. So that was all sides saying it, correct?
So what I recall from that was, I think it was like a Tuesday morning that Trump said, "Oh, it's going to end civilization and all that." So he unilaterally declared that. Then time went on. There was some reports from various things that we don't know which of those reports are exactly true because it didn't come straight from Iran. And then the next day, I think Wednesday, Iran did a lot of attacks that day. It was still ongoing, but then by Thursday they stopped, and that was like they were like, okay, fine, we're going to do the ceasefire. So at some point subsequent to what Trump was saying, Iran decided to
That's
agree
false
with it,
again.
but they didn't agree right
That's
away.
false. That's false. You need to go back and check. Go and check Abbas Araghchi's statement. Go on his Twitter. I think he posted.
I'll look it
Yeah,
up.
look it up. So what you're talking about again, and you're conflating a lot of issues, is even after the ceasefire was agreed, because of Iran's Mosaic-style system, they weren't able to get into information out to some people. So there were some missiles that did fly to Israel and a few other locations after it all been agreed. But this was something Trump had already accepted because this had already been told him. This is why the ceasefire never broke down. But do check because you're completely wrong in what you're saying. And so, I mean, it kind of, okay. Also, some more breaking news. Breaking news. There is some air raid sirens in Kuwait right now. There is some air raid sirens in Kuwait right now. Okay, let's go to Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones, jump in.
God love you, Julian, and the work you do here continually. Hello to all people who, believe in a God, truly a God that is merciful and just. But we're in a really, really, I don't know, in 7 decades, Sully, of living, I've never seen the level of hate, the most unresponsive, unimaginable loathing and tribal bullshit going back. Excuse my French. I'll try to keep it clean for the people here that are sensitive to that. But bottom line is we have been lied to so long. I really think this conversation, Bibi to Trump, was one total AI joke. I don't believe he would, if the two of them got together and said, well, we're going to put this out for public consumption to keep the state of Israel alive and viable, yeah, I could see that. But I don't see him actually threatening Netanyahu, seeing the way things are going. It's sickening to me, Sully, to see that this bombing continues of innocent people all over, not just Lebanon, but Gaza still. It's underreported. People don't even talk about this anymore. It's just like, oh shit, oh well. Out here, we've got an election today that if they don't steal it, we're trying to get rid of the mayor that allowed 17,000 homes to burn up while she was visiting West Africa. Yeah. And a new governor as well. Guys, pray for California, pray for your families, pray that God continue to bless us as best, we're able to take his blessing and, just live according to a godly, loving lifestyle. If you're going to be hateful, if you're going to be destructive, if you're going to be loathsome, I don't want to hear from you. Honestly, I don't. I want to hear anything from you. But if you're praying to the living God, and I mean this, I do want to link up with you because united we stand, divided we fall. So if I don't follow you, make me aware of that. Let's correct that today, and let's continue on in fighting this ridiculousness. God bless you, Sully, and all of you here that I know. And I just things have to get better. God bless you. Thank you.
Thanks for that. Game, appreciate your comments. Let's go to where's he gone now? About this guy, but I don't know where he's gone. Okay, let's go to MGL. MGL.
Hey, can you hear me okay?
Your volume is a little bit low. Do you want to speak?
Yep, sorry. Can you hear me now?
Test.
Yeah, speak.
I was wondering what you guys thought about the. I was wondering what you guys thought about.
You're rubber banded.
I don't know anything about. I don't mind politics and religion, like international commerce and stuff like that.
Okay, I don't think this guy can hear me. He's rubber banded. He's rubber banded and I can't hear him. I don't know if anybody else could hear him and it was just me. Yeah, he was.
No.
Yeah, he was rubber banding. And then I was telling him and he was carrying on talking because he couldn't hear. So let's go to what's the True Margo? You had your hand up.
Yeah, just one quick thing. It was from James Comer's lips, so you could take that with a grain of salt. He's Republican, so I don't even know if you want me to say what he just said. Do you want me to say what he said?
Like bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, it's just basically what I said, but it's just him. He's been saying that for a long time. So.
Cool. Deep. Deep indeed. Epstein, you had your hand up?
Yeah. Just wanted to say hey to Mankos if he's still here. Just a little bit off topic. Alberta separation. You're 100% right on that, sir. I tried to get to you a couple days ago, but this whole Israeli negotiating tactics and saying that Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner are not negotiating on behalf of Israel and not the United States. What a ridiculous statement, sir. That is, they are basically Mossad agents that Trump has appointed outside of the State Department to negotiate on behalf of Israel's interests. Am I wrong? I think I'm correct on that. Like
you're wrong.
Looking out for their
I
own.
think it's ridiculous
Their own
to say that
financial
everyone
interests and Israel's
is a
interests.
Mossad agent,
Sorry?
but that's par for the course with this kind of discourse.
So Mankos, do you really believe that Witkoff and Kushner, they're really true, full America First people? Honestly, do you really believe that?
Obviously, Kushner is a Jew and he's pro-Israel, and so the Israelis probably like the two of them, and they probably get along very well with Israel. But that doesn't make them like actual Mossad agents.
No. Maybe I'm being hyperbolic with that, and I'm just using that as a rhetorical device.
I'm
right?
not being hyperbolic.
Agent.
I'm not being hyperbolic.
You know what? Good on you, man. Yeah, because
nope, you're not being hyperbolic.
You probably know more about this than I do.
Time, guys. You're just both talking over each other.
Yeah, sorry. Go ahead, Andrew.
Yeah, I'm not being hyperbolic about that, because I've been working exposing a reprobate from hell, and he is a hardcore Zionist, and I finally have more proof coming in that the guy does, in fact. Now, you don't have to be on working for, quote, Mossad on their payroll, but Mossad works many levels with many people. They will literally have in contact an operative like this one piece of excrement. His name is Amir Tasfati. Now, I've been told you can't say you have to say Safadi, because he is of Arab, Sunni birth, but yet some Jews adopted him, and he got some Christian false teaching, and he's been infiltrated the Christian Zionist movement. And he has, in fact, line by line, been working Mossad ops. Now, you can say, what's my proof? Of course, I can show you details where he's using their speaking and talking points. Now, for me to go pull receipts where he's actually on their payroll, man, that's a hard task. But I've got one better for you. I will use my own personal experience where in my working Navy intel, where I can tell you for a fact that I know that we had.
Breaking news. So, 2 ballistic missiles launched towards Kuwait, Ali Al Salim Air Base. Reports of explosions. There's also reports of American and Iranian vessels trading fire at the Strait of Hormuz. Major escalation. Obviously, we'll continue to give you the news as and when we receive it. But back to you.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
by the way,
Suleiman,
whenever you're
again.
done,
Yep.
I got something for you, Suleiman.
Yeah, I'll just Mango. I'll just finish this up real quick. But I can give you evidence of my own personal work in the Navy intelligence group, and I interviewed with the CIA and was tentatively hired on a 6-month wait list with the CIA till they finished its 3rd round of my background check. And I went in there and said I have a top level TS clearance. They go, nah, that's not good enough. CIA does their own. But let me make it very clear. They work and operate in many, many, many levels. Mossad does the same thing. So I'm not being hyperbolic when I say Mossad, that Kushner and Witkoff are on there working as Mossad. Oh, you better believe I'll say they're Mossad. They're the very face and work and front face of Mossad.
But could you also see that they're motivated by just basically greed? Because both of them are shady New York property developers. Their whole Gaza plan was to make this board of peace with billions of dollars from all the Gulf states and sovereign wealth funds and all of that, just to make luxury resorts built on the bones of the slaughtered children and women and innocent men of Gaza. I think it's a lot of just trying to enrich themselves as well. I
Amen.
might be wrong.
Yeah, add that on the list. Absolutely. Money, sex and bucks, sex and money, buddy. Always throw that in there. And yeah.
Yeah. East Israel, UAE. Yeah. Same operating book. Yeah.
And just a final note I'll make on that. I'm not, and I'm going to wait for my little buddies to push back and say, oh, there's Andrew talking NDEs again, but I can't go into non disclosures. But I personally worked a case with the FBI and other sources, and I have in India to cover it. But let me be clear on this. I was not on the FBI's payroll. I was not on actually a level of internal investigation with CIA, but I'll say FBI for now. And the NCIS, we used to call them Naval Investigative Service. I was not on their payroll, but I was doing a work and an operation with them for them. Now, was I on their payroll? No, I was not. Was I doing work for them? Yes, I was. Was I doing extensive work for them? Yes, I was. So I think we can just say this. If you want me to prove that the Witkoff and Kushner are on the Mossad payroll, I'm sure they're not, but they're doing their work and their bidding through handlers. Trust me on that. And I'll land it there.
Yeah. I think it would be like very silly of a intelligence agency anywhere around the world to have ex-employee name, employee number, date of birth, here's your paycheck, everything written out and collated, and then they sign a check over to you. But maybe those corrupt business deals, maybe these ways of influence and power sharing. That's the way they are paid
Yeah.
in kind, right? For the
Yes.
work they do.
And that's how they contact.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
And that's how they
That makes a lot
contact
of
you.
sense.
I got tapped on the shoulder one day. You need to pick up this phone, make this phone call. What? Make the phone call. Meet at Denny's at 3 p.m. Okay, what's going on? Yeah, I didn't even
No
know.
word, no. You
Nope.
had no idea. Yeah,
No
you show up and
idea. I show up. I'm at Denny's. There's 2 individuals there. It's 20 questions. I'm like,
yeah.
do I need to get a lawyer? then the next thing we're saying is what is happening here. You need to look at this. This never happened. I'm like, my God, it's like Men in Black. No, but I know it sounds crazy. I know people are saying, oh, there goes Andrew again. Okay, fine. But I'm telling you that it happens every day. Now, I'm small, I'm a nobody. But now these folks in high positions of high power and influence, are you serious? Oh, let me tell you, they're operating. They're on the same
Yeah,
playbook.
at a whole different level. Yeah, just because
Yes,
it's hard
sir.
for just regular people like me. I work a 9 to 5 job, and it's hard to believe that anybody could keep a secret. But these
Yeah.
people keep secrets and put
Oh,
people down to keep
oh,
secrets.
oh, oh, if I didn't have three, two that are scary as hell, non-disclosures, two with the United States Navy and submarine warfare. I mean, I'd love to tell you stories, but I'm not say scared, but I'm not going to go to prison, and I won't do anything to my country. But I'm telling you, I'm small, I'm a nobody. But on high levels, if folks only knew.
Breaking news! Breaking news! We've got footage coming out of explosions in Kuwait. I forgot to change the title on this. That's hilarious. So yeah, that's the one I was trying to say. Remember, that was hilarious. Oh, no sound. 1 second. Let me refresh this. Oh my god, the Zayos attacked. The Zayos attacked our thing. And by the way, guys, we are giving you the breaking news as and when we receive it. Huge explosions in Kuwait. Major explosions in Kuwait. We're also getting reports that the US airbase, and I just posted this actually, so let me reiterate what I posted. We are getting reports that the US airbase, Ali Al Salim airbase, was not the location of the strike, but instead it was Camp Arif Jan that was hit. Likely it was Camp Arif Jan that was hit. Okay, breaking news, breaking news. In reality, both the US airbase in Iran and Camp Arif Jan were hit. So both were hit. That is the latest and breaking news. What's his name again? Overtime. Did you wanna add anything? Because I think I might
Yeah,
have interrupted you.
yeah. Thank you for that, Suleiman. I want to give you another big time shout out because you really do give everyone a voice. Everyone in here, make sure you repost and you follow Suleiman because Suleiman, he is seriously the only source letting all the voices speak. This platform has tried to devoice me, deplatform me time and time again, and it's only because of Suleiman my voice is able to get back out of here. I want to end off with this, guys. With the breaking news going on, Iran War Day 95, we're already seeing the gas prices skyrocketing again. This guy, this whatever, this genocider, he said that they were going to improve the economy. They were going to save us. They were going to bail us out. Right now, they're literally bailing out Israel. The reason why you're seeing explosions in Kuwait right now, like what Suleiman just mentioned, is because this is not just, Palestine against Israel. This is against Israel. It's 60 plus genocidal entities, just like Kuwait, unfortunately, right? I'm not speaking against the people, but Kuwait as an entity is being used by Israel to bomb innocent people, right? So this is what we're seeing. We're seeing Iran seriously put these people in their place. This is why we got to keep praying for Iran. We got to keep our prayers with Allah straight up right now, because right now, seriously, guys, like if the resistance loses here, they're already planning these AI data centers. You guys think it's AI data centers? We don't need data centers. AI is already working without the data centers. Those are surveillance centers, and they're going to be controlled and ruled by Israel. We are going to be the next target. Do you think they need us now? They don't need us anymore. They believe that they could replace us with AI robots. That's why even Elon Musk is working on that right now. That's why he's silencing me the most right now out of every platform. So just wanted to end off with that. Thank you guys so much, and big time shout out to the space.
Thanks for that. Let's go to IB. IB, did you want to add anything?
Hey everybody, just shout out to, I just wanted to also echo what was just said. Yeah, shout out to you, Sule, and everybody. Thank you for everything you're doing. I don't really understand what Manco was just saying. He was saying because Trump put that on True Social, Lebanon stopped getting bombed. I mean, I think if there's
I think you've just
yeah,
come now, haven't you? I'm guessing you weren't
yeah,
listening to the space.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so do you think it's a good idea to like maybe understand the
No, I
context?
listened a little. No, I was listening for maybe 4 or 5
No,
minutes.
but we
So
were having a
was there
debate
more?
for like a good 20 minutes, maybe 30
Okay,
minutes
I
or more
missed
than.
it then. Okay.
So basically, obviously, I said that basically I was proposing the argument that Manco is defending Israel. And he said, no, I'm not defending Israel. And then he gave a number of points. And then I gave a number of points and then said, look, this was the timeline of events. And he was like, no, those weren't the timeline of events. And I was like, yes, they were. And so then he went and checked Grok to check what the timeline of events were. And your boy, even though he's at the ripe age of being very young, still has stated the information correctly. And the timeline I relayed on the space was indeed accurate. And so then once he relayed the timeline, then I asked him, well, Manco, can you also check? I remember Trump saying that I'm paraphrase. I'm commanding Lebanon I'm commanding Israel that they won't bomb. And because he got the timeline, I was asking him to find me the exact date, and so that's what he did. He found me the exact date where it was said. So that was kind of the context of the conversation.
And the thing
Okay,
about
got it. Thanks.
the thing too about Grok is Zio GPT, just like ChatGPT. It's ruled by the Zios. That's why it takes real ones like Suleiman to do the correction, and then when Manko goes back, it corrects him. I bet you the first time Manko asked that, it told him that Zionists lie. So that's another reason why you guys want to follow this space, man.
W Morphe. So yeah, Golden. By the way, I'm gonna continue, but guys, I'm like triple tasking. Like I'm literally reading the space. I'm speaking on the space. I'm making the poster for the interviews. Guys, we got 2 CIA agents coming, bloods. 2 CIA agents. I didn't know Ray McGovern was a CIA agent. So we got Larry Johnson. We got Ray McGovern. Larry Johnson has a big bombshell news confirmed. You're gonna want to listen to it. It's confirmed now. It's going to be shocking to say the least. So you want to listen to that. And we got Ray McGovern, another CIA agent, come in. So it's going to be fire. Watch out for that. So I'm doing that, and then I'm looking for the news and posting it. So just bear with me a little bit as well, if you can do so. Now let's go to public. Pick him up. Let's go to Andy. Go ahead, Andy. Jump in.
I mean, yeah, Iran this time issued a more firm response. They're hitting multiple targets. They did say next time we're gonna strike back harder, and yeah, they've hit multiple targets. So every single time they've said they're gonna do something, they've done it, and yeah, multiple targets were hit. So they don't mess around. They don't send out a post and then days later say, no, we're not gonna do that. We're gonna negotiate, and they don't put out something on X and Taco or issue a statement, because again, they're accountable to their people. If they did that, they'd show weakness to their people. And in Iran, you can't show weakness to your people. And then in Iran, you can't say, oh, but don't worry, everything's good, the Dow's up, so who cares that we just lie all the time? That's not how things work in Iran. It's They can't just placate their people with a fake stock market. Well, half the country is struggling. A lot of the people in Iran are struggling because of Western sanctions, and this war is a way to get out from under the boot of their sanctions. And what's funny is that Iran would still be fully under sanctions and wouldn't have a way out if Trump and Bibi didn't start this war. But Bibi was so confident, or at least delusional enough, to start this war, thinking, okay, I could just start this war and topple this government, but it didn't work. Or maybe Bibi himself even knew it would probably fail, and he just started this war, honestly, to stay in power, to be quite honest. And is thinking, okay, maybe I could kind of just do this kind of Cold War and stay in power, because he has an election coming up, and nothing short of either a long stalemate or something he could spin as a victory is enough to save his political career and keep him out of prison. He needs some type of win or an ongoing war, or he's losing re-election and he is going to go to prison. Like, Bibi's literally fighting to stay out of jail. He's not fighting. I mean, obviously, the people of Israel also want this war. Like, let's not pretend this is the same as the United States, where the majority of the people of Israel oppose this war. The majority of the people of Israel actually want Bibi to bomb more. Like, if Bibi, the majority of the people of Israel would support him bombing Beirut. Let's not get it twisted. Versus the majority of Americans are absolutely opposed to this war. We're opposed to it from when it started. So it is a bit of a different dynamic. Bibi's going to get ousted because he failed in it. They're going to be like, hey, Bibi, you said Israel's the strong lion. You failed to annex Lebanon. You failed to topple the regime in Iran. You've been in power for well over a decade, for over 15 years, and time before that on and off. Yet you haven't accomplished anything. All you've done is take a little land in Gaza, and a bunch of Israelis died in your failed war. So Bibi's actually going to be seen, probably by the Israeli public, as a weak leader and an abject failure for a bloodthirsty populace. And I'm not saying every single Israeli is bloodthirsty, but the majority of them are.
Breaking news, unconfirmed report of possible explosions in Isfahan. Public, can you check your DM, please? Go ahead, continue, Andy.
Yeah, if that's true and Isfahan was struck, then that could mean that the war could possibly be resuming. I mean, not that doesn't definitely mean it will resume, but if mainland Iran was struck, then that could mean that something's about to start up, or maybe it's just going to be some tit for tat. We'll see.
Definitely since before October 7th, Bibi was ducking and dodging the corruption charges, right? So,
Yeah, there were hundreds of thousands of people out on the streets right before October 7th. He changed the rule the judiciary worked, and he had hundreds of thousands of people protesting him. And then October 7th happened, and he got some temporary unity because people were united behind it. But now the political reality is starting to set in, and people are like, hey, you're corrupt. This war hasn't been an overwhelming success because remember, Bibi was saying this is going to be a limited military operation. We're going to get a quick victory. The people of Israel were, Bibi was saying it's going to be quick. We're going to win against Hamas quick. It's going to be great. Israel's going to be secure. We're going to defeat these terrorists. And that's not what happened at all. The Israeli people did not expect a multi-year quagmire like this. And their reputation, they're absolutely hated by the world. Their country is hated because they committed a genocide. When Bibi said, "Oh, this is," I think he initially said, "What, a few month operation in Gaza?" I think is what he said, and then it's went for well, the actual operation officially went 2 years, but it's not over. They've killed 1,000 people in Gaza since the ceasefire, so it's an ongoing genocide that hasn't stopped. Well, I mean, it's been an ongoing genocide since 1948. Let's be factual with this. And he's committing a genocide in Lebanon, and they're vastly underreporting the death tolls. I mean, I saw an Israeli in a comment under Benjamin Netanyahu's post saying about a dead soldier, saying thousands have died because of this. So that's probably referring to all of the wars over the last few years. Of course, the official government's not going to report that, but if an Israeli citizen's saying that, there could be some validity to it. I mean, you see some negative comments from Israeli citizens under Bibi's post about the war. So there is some political fracturing, like, hey, this is not going how you promised it would.
Satan Yahoo Milikowski single-handedly is decimating America. He's decimating, so-called Israel, but really he's decimating America. I like what Andy you're saying, and I like also what Ryan Dawson was saying yesterday. I'm glad Ryan Dawson covered the U.S. dollar and what really happens, because a lot of people think, America has to dominate these other countries, and that's how we got the U.S. dollar to the top. But it's actually what Ryan Dawson's saying, and what Israel is doing right now is actually what Satan Yahoo Milikowski almost single-handedly is doing right now too, with the genocidal entity is they're decimating America. They're decimating the dollar. People, the countries, the BRICS, they're starting to slowly behind the scenes, figure out different ways. It's not an overnight thing, but they're already planning on it low key on ditching the dollar. Every single time, each and every single one of you got to work an extra shift, or you got to pay a tax bill, or you got to pay something that costs way more. Just remember, it's because of Satan Yahoo Milikowski. It's because of Israel and the majority of the people that donate to him too, whether it be in the Western Israel. They donate to this genocider, and what this genocider does is they extract all of our money. Zohran Mamdani, I don't like the guy 100%, but he's a good example of what happens when you don't completely cower to the Zionist agenda. He didn't show up to that parade, and then he taxed one of the Zios accordingly. He texted them what they should be texted accordingly, and he was able to fix some potholes. And that's just a small example of what could happen. There could probably be way more things that happen if we weren't completely conquered by Israel. But I agree with what Andy said. Satan Yahoo Milikowski, he's trying to stretch this out as much as possible. It's like that video. If you guys have ever seen that video, Satan Yahoo, he literally admits that America is the cow, is the cash cow. It's the calf that he wants to milk. But what's not in the video is that he will chop the cow's head off too. He will sacrifice the cow. We are the red heifer in America to the Satan Yahoo Milikowski.
Oh man, nobody's sacrificing me, but I hope I'm That's pretty funny.
Your money is getting sacrificed. Public, you got to work harder already. Since 2020, now you have to work twice as
Yeah,
hard.
man. I feel bad when I don't work like 7 days a week. I feel like like I'm gonna fall behind and stuff. And then when Sully says like, "Oh, you Americans, all you guys do is work," like I actually think about it. I'm like, shite. Like all we do is work because we got to pay them taxes and bills, and but it's all good though. Like I try to stay positive about it. Silver Sailor, I see all you guys up here, Manko. I hope all you guys are doing well today. Good to see you guys. Just got in. But yeah, Silver Sailor, you have your hand up. You may go ahead.
Thanks, public. What's up, Sully, man? I'm out here battling a typhoon, but I'll do my thing. Here we go. Oh. Welcome to today's segment of Anti-War Veteran Minute with Silver Sailor. I'm going to read a quote by Ferdinand Marcos back in 1981. We cannot and we will not negotiate with terrorists. We have nothing but contempt for them. To conciliate differences with these people without them changing their objectives is to condemn our republic to ultimate strangulation and death. There you go. Speaking of Arif John, I was in Arif John back in '05 during the other illegal war. It is a nice base. It's an army base, but they do host all of the services. But that's sad to hear that we got Americans in harm's way in that base as well. The Epstein coin is collapsing. These billionaires are figuring out they need money to fund these surveillance centers. So the only way to do it is to dump the Epstein coin, Bitcoin. That's all I got. Love you all. Be safe. Silver Sailor out.
Appreciate that, Silver Sailor. And then we got this new guy who just came up. It's Biz Dev.
Biz Dev it is. Howdy, how do I sound? I'm on Starlink. Hopefully I'm not coming in with poor quality.
Sounds good for me.
Howdy. Well, thank you, Suleiman. I've actually never been able to get up here, so I really appreciate you guys. I'll just take just a minute. I agree with pretty much the sentiment of everything that's said in the space here thus far. Me personally, I am a American Christian. I'm America first. I was raised Presbyterian, but I also went to Catholic school, so I'm not one of those Christians that has antipathy for Catholic nor Islam. I have, great relationship with my brothers, that are Islamic, that identify with the Islamic faith. I think the Abrahamic religion should have a lot more unity. But the point that I'm making, and I'll land it with this, is I think there's a very thin line where all the points that were made about the Zionist movement and the current agenda of the state itself, time for very pivotal reflection, particularly with the conservative movement. We're seeing what many describe as civil war, MAGA civil war. We've got a lot of folks that were anti-Ukraine, like Laura Loomer, who are now pivoting because her whole thing is being the dipole to whatever agenda Candace Owens is spewing. And so there's these competing schools of thought, and unfortunately, whatever dogma it is that's gotten us thus far, we kind of voted for it, right? And so it's tough to hear folks that say, hey, I didn't vote for this. And in many ways, we did, right? And so I don't know what it looks like. I don't really have solutions to offer. And I do wonder, to kind of pivot it back to the panel, right? We are a center-right country. It's just who we are as America. It's just how we see our civil liberties and in terms of what we value and us on the in terms of our relativeness to Europe, right? We are a more conservative society. So where do we go from here, right? I mean, and I'll land with this, right? We see a candidate like Massey, who, in terms of representation in the online right, seemed like it was a deadlock, and unfortunately was a pretty considerable loss by maybe double digits. So how does the conservative movement regroup, and what does it even look like? And I don't think we can get there without that deep reflection of what the conservative, what responsibility and role the conservative Christian movement also had in acquiescing a lot of our sovereignty into the current state of things as of now. So that's it.
Thanks for that. Let me just see if there's any more breaking news. I have to quickly. Okay, there's no explosions in Isfahan now. They're saying that there is no report. Sorry, there is no explosions. It was likely the missiles that were launched. So that's the latest on that.
Earlier, did you say it was launched towards Kuwait or from Kuwait?
That it was launched, sorry, from Isfahan. Okay, let's go to who has not spoken yet. IB, did you want to add anything?
I was just gonna add, I don't know if you guys saw the World Jewish Congress. Did you talk about that?
No, explain.
Okay, so the World Jewish Congress is one of the most powerful nonprofits in the country, and it is a very, very powerful supporter of Israel. And the president came out and said that they have spent $600 million on media campaigns and advocacy just since October 7th, 2023. And he basically said that it's still not enough and that they're doubling down and that they're gonna increase their funding. And I just wanted to put that out there. That was a really important um, event that they had recently, and they divulged that information. So they're fighting very hard, and they're fighting exactly what we're doing in this space, right? Where people are starting to learn and starting to, and public opinion has shifted obviously against Israel, although initially it was pro-Israel after October 7th. But this basically shows us that the other side is very organized and extremely well funded and is not going to back down. And this is not for granted, that this shift is, they're not going to give it up without, throwing hundreds of millions, if not billions, at us. So I just wanted to add that piece.
Yeah, great point. Let's go to overtime. Overtime, is there anything you want to add about these multiple explosions?
Yeah, I just want to add, like, for those tuned in right now, like, these explosions are because of Kuwait and the genociders and what they did and what they've been doing the last 3 years. These genociders, actually, more recently, over the last few months, they bombed a girls' school. Think about that for like a minute, guys, right? Like, imagine this was like your niece, or this is like your nephew, or your like, your young ones in this school, right? And then this one day you hear that, oh, like it got bombed, right? Think about how your life would change, right? So do you blame Iran for doing what it's doing? Like, most people would say they're not doing enough. Like, they'd probably go off even more, but this is calculated moves we're seeing right here. You know, Iran striking the Ali Asadam air base camp. Like, these are camps where these people, they help the genociders. This is why Palestine hasn't been free for a long time, guys. A lot of the times people are like, no wonder why Palestine hasn't been free. This is the reason why. Right here, you're seeing a lot of these countries that are supposed to put Islam first. They're supposed to put their brothers or sisters, the Ummah, first. They're putting Israel first. This is the stuff you couldn't make up. And this is what everything's exposed up until this point. October 7th really showed the world, at least those who didn't know before. So we're seeing it. Here's another thing too, and I'm reading all this on Suleiman's page, by the way, guys. But here's another thing too, right? Kuwaiti interceptor missile falls into a city in Kuwait. Like, think about that for one moment. Like, these people are willing to defend the genocidal entity while also sacrificing their own citizens. Like, this interceptor missile, and we've seen it happen in Jordan. We've seen it with the Jordanian so-called king, who's also helping Israel out, where these interceptor missiles that they're playing defense for Israel, the genociders, the child killers. They're these interceptor missiles. They sometimes fall and they kill their own civilians. So you're not completely safe with these interceptor missiles. So we're not only seeing like traitors, within the ummah. Unfortunately, we're seeing people who are willing to sacrifice their own brothers and sisters too. Even Kuwaiti, right? Because some of the Gulf Arabs like to think they're a bit different, right? So even if you're Kuwaiti, look, they're willing to sacrifice you as well. With this interceptor missile. So stay tuned, guys. I think this is gonna move up. I think this is exactly what Netanyahu and Israel wants. They don't care like if gas goes up for us. They don't care if the bills go up here. We are the sacrificial cow. We're gonna see more, I think, activity against Kuwait because Kuwait right now seems to be Israel's favorite, cow, and its favorite calf right now, carrying out a lot of acts, a lot of terrorist acts. So stay tuned, guys, and make sure you guys repost the space.
Yeah, this is true. This is true. Epstein, jump in.
Yeah, I just wanted to second what he said. It's such a fight that we have to endure here all around the world with this Zionist oppression. I haven't been listening for more than maybe 90 minutes. Just wanted to let everybody know that Michael Rechtenwald, he is in the hospital. He's recovering right now. Aortic valve stenosis and aortic aneurysm, and he's a very big funder
Yeah,
against the
Epstein.
Zionist.
We know about this. He came on the
Okay,
space
good,
before
good,
saying, yeah.
good.
I don't get why
Maybe
this.
some of the listeners didn't. Yeah.
Oh God, bro, this is what I mean. Like, there's a major explosions going on. We know about this. We don't need to know about like this type of stuff, right? This is really annoying. Right, let me go
Okay, I'm
back.
sorry.
Right, okay. Okay, we're hearing that Iran is, and this is what I mean. Like, there's actually major things going on, and people are telling me about like people's life stories. Not that I'm thinking, but we've already had this conversation with him and Dr. Rectenwall himself. Just like flipping out, bro. This isn't a chit chat room, right? This isn't a coffee shop. This is what most spaces are like, but this is a professional space where we give news and we break news. Breaking news, breaking news. Iran's firing more missiles from Darab Fars province. So more missiles are fired from Iran is basically a breaking. More missiles fired from Iran. I'm just tweeting it while I'm speaking to you. Location unknown. It's like the war might be restarting. People are just telling me their life stories, bro. It's like, what's going on? More missiles from Iran's firing missiles from Darab. Oops.
So prior to these missiles recently being fired, there wasn't much
Well,
activity.
this could be the beginning of global devastation. I mean, the oil could be, if gas hits like 15, it could be over.
Yeah, exactly. I just got visuals of a Kuwaiti interceptor missile that's fallen on um um yeah, there's a visuals of a Kuwaiti okay, I'll have to pause this myself 1 second. There is visuals of a Kuwaiti interceptor missile as well, hitting as well. Andy, what do you think about the possible escalation in relation to these attacks from Kuwait? Oh, sorry, attacks on Kuwait. Well, the first attacks are on Kuwait. We don't know what the second are. This is after reports that we heard that possibly there was some engagement between the United States Navy and Iran's Navy. So this could be as a result of that. It could be because of Israel's actions in Lebanon. Although they did say Israel's actions in Lebanon will result in a direct attack on Israel. What do you think is going on? Hello, can anyone hear me?
Yeah, I think you're.
Yep. I could hear
You
you.
can't hear him.
I think I could answer. I
Yeah,
could
go for it,
answer
please,
I just
Andy.
want
Suleiman.
Yeah,
to.
please
What
go
I
for it.
really quick, Suleiman, like what I think's about to happen here is I think Israel's using Kuwait right now as their number one go-to guy. This is gonna escalate. You're absolutely right. Like we are back on the kind of horizon this kicking off again, and we saw that beginning yesterday with Satan Yahoo. We're seeing that right now with the back and forth, especially right now with the back and forth between Kuwait. It looks like this is where Israel always uses first to kick things off so they could point at Iran and be like, "Oh, see, like look at what they're doing right now." Like they're still bombing Kuwait. See, like this is why we must follow Satan Yahoo and listen to him. So we're already seeing oil skyrocketing too. It's nearly recovered, and it looks like it's trying to do a U-shaped cup and handle pattern back to 105 to 110. Earlier, someone said it might get to $15 a gallon. That's possible right here, especially today right here. This is what makes this base massive right now, because if this does kick off and they do start back and forthing, I believe they are going to bring more U.S. machinery to Kuwait. I think they are going to need U.S. involvement to rebuild a lot of this infrastructure. What kind of scares me a little bit is this kind of does seem like to Israel like a win-win situation, because like in Israel's eyes, like they like to see Kuwait and Iran doing this back and forthing while it doesn't get touched up as much. My only concern here is for Iran, like focusing a bit too much. It's okay to still handle the business, but Israel ultimately they are the business, and if they don't pay attention to as much on Israel as they do on Kuwait, and this is what we're seeing right now. This is why this is the genociders' number one game plan right here. Because they want Iran more focused on Kuwait. They want these side guys. Like it's like I forgot who made that quote where they said usually like when you get to the Zionists, like that's the last true enemy at the end of the game, at the end of the fight. There's usually always a Zionist at the end of it. That's how you know you've reached the end. I gotta find whoever made that quote. It was very true. But that's what Iran's dealing with right now. They have a lot of these side enemies they have to get through before they finally get through the Zionist who's always there at the end, who's the true real enemy hiding. And you've gotten to the end when you've gotten to the Zionist. So what we're gonna see right now, what we're gonna see these next few days, I believe, is we're gonna see Iran try to handle these side people. They really want to handle these rats, these genocidal rats, these entities like Kuwait. Unfortunately, again, the people seem cool, but the government, the genocidal government, has disgraced the country, and Kuwait and all of this too has disgraced itself, because in the very beginning we saw like one of the genociders fall out the genocidal planes that they bomb these kids in, and we saw like a few civilians run up and, oh yeah, like, hey, we're here to save you guys, yeah, like what are you doing? Like this person was literally the reason why there's missiles flying over your country right now, and probably the reason why there's more dead kids in a different country. So like Kuwait, all of this is being completely embarrassed. And I think that's why Kuwait's just going along with this too at this point. They're gonna keep going along with this. They're gonna keep being Iran's puppet, no, kind of that, what do they call that thing at, piñata, there we go. They're gonna be Israel's piñata, where Israel's kinda hanging the piñata on the tree, and Iran keeps striking the piñata and beating the piñata up and breaking it down, but Israel's still hanging up a different piñata. The different piñata might be another Gulf state, once, Kuwait's finished off, and that's probably what's gonna happen here, in these next coming days.
Thanks for that, Moffat. Trumaga, jump in.
Yeah, you were right about the Lebanese. Iranians are absolutely furious that Israel troops have advanced deep into Lebanese territory during the ceasefire period. That's the primary reason they decided to completely pull out of the peace talks, and they said they will stop exchanging messages through anybody except for
Suleiman,
Tehran directly.
Suleiman is in the nest. Bahrain is now getting attacked.
What, really?
Yes, Rerum Navarum claims it, and alongside Middle East Vector on Telegram.
All right, 1 second. Sorry, I was too busy. I'm like multitasking. I'm trying to run the space and get these posters done. Yeah, okay. So Bahrain has been hit as well. I haven't even posted that out, so I'll have to double check that. But that sounds right.
I wouldn't doubt it either, because Bahrain, again, the people seem cool there, but again, this is another genocidal government entity that's also been used as bases there. There are U.S. bases there that Israel does use.
And also in the case of Bahrain, they're part of the Abraham Accords as well.
Yep. So not surprised. This is exactly what I mean by Israel's like putting up the pinatas right now, because it doesn't want to take all the hits. So it puts up the one pinata, which is Kuwait, the other pinata, which is Bahrain, and it's hoping Iran just focuses on beating up the pinatas. it's up to Iran not to overdo the whooping of the pinatas and to move accordingly to the puppet holders and the puppet masters.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, I've just confirmed that there is alert in Bahrain as well. Alert in Bahrain as well. Thanks for that, Julian. Do jump in if there's any more news. But yeah, that's the latest. There is alert in Bahrain as well.
So do you think that there will be an Operation True Promise 5 by the end of the day, by the looks of the developments?
That's hilarious.
I mean, that operation is kind of funny, given the fact that Israel gets bombed on repeat. Boom, boom, Tel Aviv. It's just kind of funny, though.
I think we are, especially if we don't see Netanyahu back off of Lebanon, because what Israel's doing over there too in Lebanon is very bad right now too. It's looking like Gaza 2.0. So, and they can't let that happen because I think that's a massive red line too when it comes to the resistance. They can't allow that kind of thing to spread. So I think that we are going to see a True Promise 5 pretty soon, especially because of Netanyahu's attitude and his disrespect and his disgracefulness, and embarrassing pretty much the whole world right now.
Brother, I just wanted to quickly update. Erbil, northern Iraq, is being shelled by Iran right now.
Wait, what was that?
Erbil, northern Iraq, is being shelled by Iran right now.
Northern Iraq, that's where they got the other U.S. genocidal bases. Is that correct?
Exactly. The Kurdish Erbil area. Precisely.
Right. And so these entities need to ask themselves, like, do they want to continue being the pinatas for Israel and continuously getting these whoopings? At a certain point, you got to seriously consider this. I think we're going to see a True Promise 5 soon.
Yeah, I see.
They're making it really hard to negotiate. I mean, they're saying if IDF doesn't completely pull out of Lebanon, there will be no talk. And they say that's never going to happen, that the IDF's going to completely pull out.
Let's go to Peruz. Peruz, jump in. Give us your thoughts.
Hey, Salman, thank you very much. Just wanted to share that a lot of these, Arab monarchies, I mean, they've completely, chose the side. Most of these countries, these, recent built made countries, were all formulated by, the US, Brits over the last 100 years. And they know, like, if the entity is, collapses, it will have ramification amongst their countries as well. So I think we're starting to see there is no impartiality. We just saw earlier today that Oman is now being threatened by Trump, just for taking a neutral stance. So, I think the chess pieces are moving very quickly. And, as Brother Mofet said, I truly do believe, TP5 is on its way.
That's crazy.
And also, wasn't it also reported that Iran will bomb Germany, Romania, and Greece, given the fact that the United States air bases are there? It was reported
No,
like
that's just fake news, bro. Where you getting that from?
That was fake news?
Yeah, that's just fake news.
That's probably Israel.
I heard,
You're talking about, you're mixing up two
heard that
different
a month
stuff.
ago. I heard that a month
Yeah,
ago, and
that's
I'm
just
just
fake
like,
news. That's just Zionist propaganda.
okay.
The what do you call it again? Russia and Ukraine are escalating, and then there are some conversations about Russia possibly doing something like that. And again, this is a divergence of opinion within Russia. So you listen to my interviews. We do go through all of these things in detail. But yeah, that's never been the case.
I wish I had you follow you on YouTube, Suleiman Ahmed, but I'm suspended. So, yeah.
Okay, well, you can create a new channel, isn't it?
The Bob
So,
Mandeb Strait. that is going to be that's going to be something unprecedented. That's going to be a disaster. They're thinking about shutting that down now.
Exactly. I think Iran's doing the right move here because the US is just basically keep on posturing and attacking them and hitting their vessels and the Strait of Hormuz and various other things. So there is it does make sense for sure. Sorry, I'm just flipping.
Also,
Yeah, then.
Zelensky, I think, made a massive mistake too recently by coming out and talking about he doesn't have the anti-missile missiles and they need more. I think that's exposing the fact that, Israel's probably taken up all of them. So I don't doubt that, Putin, he probably does see that as an opening and he probably might go brazy, But to whoever said earlier too that like there was reports about Iran like potentially attacking Europe, that's not going to happen. Count on Israel to do that. If anything happens in the West, count on Israel to do it so that they could recruit more goyim. Recently, they made like this act where they want to, actually combine, the U.S. military with the genocidal military, which is extremely dangerous. Because once again, guys, right at the end of this, the genocidal entity is going to have to pay. They want to make sure we all pay for them again. This is this curse that we have in this country where we have to pay for the billionaires and their failed projects. We have to pay for the wars and their failed colonial agendas. We have to keep paying and paying and paying, and that's why they want to intertwine. They want to fully intertwine with our government so that we not just the billions of dollars that we already send we're going to have to pay for, but probably the trillions and dollars in reparations when the world one day does become stronger than our military, because we're like, oh, might is right, might is right. Well, what happens when the table turns one day? Right, then we're gonna have to owe trillions of dollars in reparations to folks, right? And it's because of intertwining with Israel instead of doing what we should be doing as a country right now, which is putting Israel in its place, and not sending it another nickel, not sending it another dime, not another penny, right? Prosecuting these criminals, these genociders. This could easily
Breaking news,
repair
we're
this.
now getting images of missiles in the air, images of missiles over Bahrain. So we're now getting images of missiles over Bahrain as well. Go ahead, Mofe, finish your point.
Yeah, just I think that was pretty much it, guys. Like this is the start. This is we got to stand up now. It's going to be a true promise vibe, I think. Though, regardless, I think what's happening in Bahrain, we're already seeing. I think what Mean Suleiman said earlier, which is we're seeing Iran whoop these genocidal entities that have been assisting the genocidal entity, the child killing entity, Israel. Everybody in America, this is crazy to say, almost everybody in America is literally praying that Iran wins. We're all praying that people wake up and they're not joining this war. They're not signing up. When you look at what's his name, Pete Hegseth, like he literally admitted it. I think it was very laughable when he was like, Trump said I would handle Iran, but I said, oh, that's not me. That's gonna be you guys. And then he's like pointing to the crowd of like these kids that look like they're 19 and 20. Like they need to know that Israel looks at them like lousy goyim. They call us all lousy goyim. So I hope these people wake up too. I hope they don't try to sacrifice themselves because I think Iran's gonna put on a serious whooping, a massive whooping that the whole world is behind. And that's the even worse part is if you sell out this late into this genocidal agenda, like nobody's gonna feel bad for you. No one's gonna feel bad for your loved ones either, because like this late into the game, like the whole world's aware, everybody's cheering on Iran, against the genocidal entity. So I hope that resonates with folks because I've been seeing a little bit of here and there, and this is day 95, and I think it's gonna be a long whooping and a long ride to go.
I think it's gonna be decades.
Let's go to Matrix Resist. Matrix Resist, jump in.
Hi, Suleiman. Thanks for having me up. We saw earlier 2 Kuwaiti interceptors. I think there were explosions. On video, you hear loud explosions that are not just from interceptors exploding in the air. So just assuming 1 missile hit, if there were only 2 launched, 2 interceptors fired for intercepting 1, maybe they were successful. that's at least 3 or 4 interceptors fired. Like I tried to estimate like how many interceptors Kuwait has left, because Kuwait is a really small country and they don't have as many interceptors as Saudi Arabia or UAE, and they definitely don't have the budget and how much they paid in all these years, like the UAE could and the Saudis. Even Bahrain is also a very tiny, like it's like a small compared like a small city in Iran, not even a small city in Iran. So I think this is in favor of Iran if the US only goes tit for that. So the American bases are expanding their missile inventory even more than they already were. Very low stocks at the end of the war. They could have transported with cargo planes like some extra interceptors, but I don't see another 200 THAAD interceptors coming to the Gulf or 500 extra Patriots. I think it's low numbers, but I don't see how they can resume war like on high intensity for like let's say 3 or 4 weeks even. So my question goes to you: what do you guys think of a like at least a 3 week war and like high intensity?
I think yeah, we're gonna see. It's gonna be brutal. The next 3 to 4 weeks, we're gonna see a lot of funerals, a lot of caskets, a lot of those signs they put up, but they never tell us where these signs are even coming from. They don't tell us the full story that they're sending these people out to go die for Israel. We're gonna see a lot of that. We're gonna see a lot of that on both sides because, as we know, the genocidal entities, they also target civilians too. We're seeing that right now live as we speak. They're massive bombs on Gaza, massive bombs on Lebanon, massive bombs on Yemen, massive bombs on Iran, massive bombs everywhere. On multiple countries, massive bombs, and we're seeing only like Iran retaliate pretty well for the most part. So, we're gonna see, this is gonna be long. This is gonna be brutal. And the people at the top, they could care less. They're gonna make their billions. If people don't outrage, if people don't boycott, this is what I've been calling for I mean, we would have made it this far if people boycotted correctly. I think the world has boycotted in an okay manner. But when this stuff is on the line to this extent, it can't be an okay manner. We have to boycott to the best of abilities, and I don't think anywhere near that. I think especially the Gulf states could have boycotted these McDonald's and Starbucks and avoided this to begin with without having to even fire a missile in return. So a lot of we're gonna pay for that. The mistakes that we make along the way, we're gonna pay for as a group, as a whole, and that's Israel's message. That's always been the genocidal entity's message. Number one rule that everybody has to pay for their mistakes. So it's gonna be brutal. It's gonna be ugly. 3 to 4 weeks, I think probably we've been seeing that. That's kind of the pattern that they've been going in 3 to 4 weeks. Then it's kind of a fake ceasefire where it's all fake. It's probably on both sides, gathering of logistics, gathering of intelligence. Coming back at it. This is how sickening these kind of things to get. That it's like a game to these
Some
genocidal.
more breaking news. Allegedly, Iran said that um, the attacks on the U.S. military bases in Kuwait are in retaliation for American strikes on Keshem Island. So IGC Iran says.
Suleiman, just a quick brother, just a quick update. Iranian fighter jets above Esfahan.
Yeah, it's picking up in a massive way for those tuned in.
Well,
9
just to be clear,
explosions heard in
guys.
Bahrain.
Go ahead.
9 explosions heard in Bahrain right now.
Yeah, okay, guys. If anybody gives any breaking news, just take it with a grain of salt because I haven't double checked it. So just be clear on that.
But Suleiman, if I can just follow up with what Brother
Yeah.
Mofit mentioned, I mean, we also have to highlight Hezbollah. Look, they have decimated the IOF soldiers. You have seen, over the last 3 months of trying to occupy southern Lebanon, it came at a huge cost. And what we see the entity doing, because they can't fight against real men like Hezbollah, so they take out their frustrations against the poor innocent civilians of southern Lebanon. And we saw, look what happened when they, when Netanyahu said, "Oh, we will strike Beirut." Iran, said, "If you strike Beirut, we will strike you." That goes for me. That is tells me, Iran is
Breaking
elevating. Go
news,
ahead.
breaking news. So, more alerts in Kuwait and Bahrain. It seems like more drones and missiles heading towards Kuwait and Bahrain. That's the sorry. Go ahead, Bruce. That was the breaking news.
No, thank you. Appreciate that. I think we're going to get a lot of breaking news in the coming hours. But yeah, just finishing on what I was saying, like they're getting very frustrated. Hezbollah has, been a stalwart against their invasion of Lebanon, and they are losing more and more soldiers. I mean, this is a war of attrition. You see Netanyahu looking very, very weak and tired. So we'll see what's to come. But what Mofed said about the Arab regimes, the monarchies. Look at how paranoid they've become. They are, expelling Indians and Pakistani with Shia names like Ali or Hussein. You see Bahrain putting expelling anyone from Iraq or Iran. I mean, these regimes are becoming more and more fragile as we continue. So hopefully, we see that the house of falls finally fall.
Breaking news, breaking news. Iran's now launched drones towards Bahrain as well. Lots of news coming in, guys. Lots of news. I'm trying to give you the news and run the space, and also try and organize these interviews as well. Footage shows. Okay, cool. But yeah, there is drones going towards Bahrain as well. Huge breaking news. Lots of news coming through right now.
It's like they're finishing Bahrain, as we know. That's where the fifth U.S. Naval Fifth Fleet was, past tense, and now it looks like they're going to
Mm,
finish up.
yes, now getting attacked. Middle East Spectre says that sirens at the U.S. Navy Fifth Fleet's headquarters.
eh,
So
Say
what's
that
left?
again. Say that again. Dude, don't announce things on the space if you're not going to repeat it. I need to know what you just said.
Someone said
Julian?
something about the
Okay,
95th fleet or
I'm dropping
whatever.
him then. I can't have people announce things on
No,
space. I can't verify
no,
them.
it's just sirens at the U.S. Navy Fifth Fleet's headquarters. It just accidentally turned off my mic after I said it.
Okay, cool. Just do me a favor when you announce something. Don't make sure you're there because I need to verify things. Because one of the thing about my space is it's always factual news. I don't want people to be saying random stuff that's not being verified. So when you say something, I'll go and verify it to check if that's right. But if you're gonna say something and then I'm not able to even hear what you said, then I can't verify it. I know I sound a bit mean, but this is why our space is the biggest space because people know they can get reliable information rather than random stuff. So Iran has
I know.
launched Shahid drones towards Bahrain. Okay, cool. This guy said about Bahrain that U.S. Fifth Fleet was targeting Bahrain. I've not seen that anywhere. But yeah, UAE has launched UAV to monitor threats from Iran. So that's more news.
I had a question for Andrew. Andrew, like what's left basically like for Iran, like when it comes to Bahrain and Kuwait, like how many bases are there in these two places?
Yeah, just real quick, I was going to say on Bahrain, that's where the U.S. Fifth Fleet headquarters was, and that got taken out completely. And well, I say completely, it's basically inoperable. And the U.S. Fifth Fleet has actually abandoned it. It's not there anymore. And now to see these new attacks coming into that, if we can confirm it, if it's confirmed, but it doesn't surprise me because this is a strong signal to what quote like finish it off to make sure double down on it to make sure it's completely inoperable. So that's strong. That is very strong.
How many poundings does it take though? Because it seems like they've been pounded a lot though, like these two.
Yeah, because a lot, and of course I'm not doing a post damage assessment. I don't have the satellite imagery and anything.
Breaking
Monse?
news, explosions in Iraq as well now. Explosions in Iraq as well right now. This is kicking off a lot.
Kicking up. They're doing it
Okay, so
slowly.
explosions in Mossad headquarters in Erbil in Iraq right now.
I know we're all saying keep it coming, man.
I have a question for Andrew, if that's okay.
Yeah, go for it.
So we can assume, I mean, there's no other way because during the war, there were no US Navy ships passing through the Hormuz and coming in closer to Iran, right? So if the Fifth Fleet in Bahrain has been like mostly unusable, are they using the UAE ports? And if that's true, how long? Even we know it's happened on multiple occasions that Iran and the USA exchange fire in the sea. So well, we don't know how many anti-ship missiles or cruise missiles or drones Iran is launching towards those ships, but we can assume just couple every night or maybe 10 or more. I don't know. um, yeah, they need like to reload, right? And you don't have like everywhere laying interceptors to reload those ships. So and the USA, I don't think they would risk their ships.
Suleiman Ahmed, there's missile alerts in Saudi Arabia. Rivam Nararam reported it.
Yeah, I've just seen that. I've just seen that now as well. I've just seen that myself. Bro, this is kicking off hard.
Well, we've been looking at it for days now, so I mean, this is what we've been calling for. Yeah, of course, the Fifth Fleet is gone. They're not there anymore. That's past tense. And yeah, of course, the U.S. Well, they're not even operating in the Persian Gulf. They haven't been. And that one small little infiltrate. Well, they moved out those three combatants in there. They didn't stay there long, and we haven't even seen them unleash their undersea threat, those mini submarines yet. That's what I'm waiting to see. So yeah, I think this is going to really Iran's really going to let them have it this time, which they need to. They really need to unleash the hounds here.
Andrew, how many poundings does it take though? Because like, how many times have they already pounded Kuwait and Bahrain so far?
Well, yeah, we enough to know the logistic warehouses. They're gone from what I was studying the last what about I haven't looked at it for about 3 weeks now, but warehousing, Connex boxes, all that's been gone. Logistics support is gone. The refit facility, dry dock facilities, those have been removed. Of course, airports, runways, it does you can repair those, but they've taken those. It's pretty extensive, enough to where the base is unusable. Unusable piers have been removed. Now that takes a lot of time to rebuild piers. I know they can put up portable floating piers, but to do refit piers and reloading logistic piers, that takes a lot more work. But they're unusable at this point. So, yeah, and besides that, the Fifth Fleet can't even park there and reload there. They've got to reload their missiles all the way down in Diego Garcia. So, yeah, the U.S., as I've been saying for over 90 days and really saying in the first days of the war, the United States Navy will not fight that war in the Persian Gulf. We will not, cannot, have not won that, cannot fight that. That's not our war. Ours is in the deep water. But even the naval blockades in the deep water is ineffective. We know that. We've seen it. All the experts have weighed in on that. It's not only me saying it. So yeah, this is definitely Iran's in the driver's seat, man. They're getting ready to unleash I think they're going to really unleash it this time. And the U.S. is now going to be really backpedaling. This is, this is great.
I mean, everything Andrew just said is absolutely spot on as always. And I just wanted to say, just to in response to that question, this might be controversial, but up until now, like I said, Iran is really
This
very,
paragraph says everything Congress is likely to change dramatically in the years ahead as more
Wait,
young
True
people.
Maga, what are you doing? She,
Yeah.
I'm
Ivy was
talking.
talking,
She
right?
was talking, sir.
I'd be highlighting this guy to uninterrupt it. Like, bro. So, you know, it's true.
Um,
I'm going to have
yeah.
to drop down. Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. So what I was just gonna say was, up until this point, Iran's been pretty, like, they're very legally compliant, right? They follow international humanitarian law. They Iran targets military sites. We know the Israelis have not. The Israelis targeted everything in Iran, from civilian, infrastructure to bridges to, the water plants, all violations left and right. I'm not even gonna
Breaking
get.
news,
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
breaking
Yeah.
news, successive explosions in Bahrain, successive explosions in Bahrain right now. I'm just struggling to keep up with everything, actually.
Wow.
Uh, okay, more in news, which it'll flip. Now, what's going on here? I missed loads of news. Also, reports of a vessel that was hit by Iran in the Strait of Hormuz. Bahrain Bahrain Interior Ministry announced the sound of sirens and urged the citizens to go inside. Yeah, major escalation. Sorry, back to you.
No, huge escalation. Thank you so much, Sule. You're really awesome. But
Who is
yeah,
that speaking, by the way?
I was just gonna say, I just think the point that I was trying to make was, last time, they were very restrained, as they should be, and were complying with
Breaking
the
news, breaking news. Explosions are now being heard in Dubai. Explosions
what?
are now being heard in Dubai right now. Explosions are being heard in Dubai right now.
Oh my God, we have to make sure Jonah's okay.
Jonah's not in Dubai.
Leave Dubai now. Jonah, no.
Leave
Dubai is
Dubai, Jonah.
Dubai.
UAE.
Um, well, I should call my friends in Dubai, but anyway, I mean, I think they all left, but I just think Iran, yeah, like, they've been very restrained. It'll be interesting to see, after all the horrors we've seen in Lebanon. I can't even begin to, like, I can't tell you how angry I am. The disgusting Gazification of South Lebanon, and the continued slaughter of people in Gaza. By the way, that hasn't stopped. And in the West Bank, just the settler terrorists there and what they're doing. To see what Iran does, right? To see what Iran does this time. I mean, I'm not saying that they're going to attack civilians, but they might attack some of the royal families, sites, and that just might be fair game, because those leaders are treacherous monsters who are complicit, and they've been complicit for decades. And I mean, I was talking about this a few days ago, right, Sule? Like, how all those regimes are just horrifying, and how they are, they're just as complicit, and how it can't stand, right? It can't continue to be as it is if there is going to be a genuine shift in the balance of power, right? We can't have these puppet regimes continuing to, be besties with Israel and the US if there's going to be a genuine shift. And so we'll
My
see.
dear, I apologize. Quick update. Tasneem News Agency from IRGC. The era of hit and run is over. The forces of oppression must endure the heavy consequences of their ignorance and their reckless adventures. Thank you.
Who said that? Who said that? Because Professor Morandi just tweeted that as well.
IRGC reported from Tasneem News Agency.
This is just
It's the truth.
crazy.
Sounds like Troop on Miss Five's about to take off.
IB, I apologize. Go ahead.
Oh, no, you're so kind. No, that's all I had to say. I was just done, and we'll see what happens. I think that was, what they noted. Oh, look, Joe is here, guys. Don't worry. He's here.
Wait, I can see him.
He's a listener for now.
Okay, cool. Who was it? Doc, thanks for joining us. Hope you're doing well. Give us your thoughts.
Well, thanks for that. And nice to see you guys as well. I'm catching up. I'm disappointed to see that a deal couldn't be accomplished and given a long-term chance of having a permanent deal.
And so, if those who predicted that kinetic war would restart, well, you were correct.
So, guys, ordinarily, I obviously after I do my when I do my interviews, I end the space and then whatever. But we're not going to do that. Obviously, this is too much of a big news, so we're going to continue on. But yeah, if anyone wants to listen to the YouTube at the same time, that would be awesome. But yeah, we're going to be giving that information as and when we receive it.
Definitely, Doc. I was one of those people that predicted it, that it was gonna, hostilities were gonna restart. So thanks for that.
Yeah, and Israel certainly ensured that was going to be the case. I think Trump was looking for would have taken an off ramp before now. But Israel is going to continue uh, to destroy any possibility of that happening by continuing to attack Lebanon, continuing the genocide in Gaza and the West Bank. So, yeah, it wasn't like I didn't think it could happen. I just thought, well, this side I think is more likely. I thought calmer heads would prevail. Certainly, that hasn't been the case. But I am very glad if Iran is responding in the way that it sounds like they are, which is to take the gloves off and deliver some real pain. The people of these supporting Gulf states, supporting Israel and America, as well as Israel, needs to pay the penalty for their conduct. Otherwise, it's never going to stop. And I think it is fair game, um, since Iran's religious leader and the father of their current leader was intentionally assassinated. That assassination attempts on all the royal families of the Gulf should be targeted as well. Because why should the people of those countries bear the brunt of that response? As Israel, Israel targets the people and not the leaders because they hate the people. That's what this is about. It's a racist effort from the very beginning. They hate the Palestinians. They hate anyone on land that they believe God has given to them. They're psychotic. And it's been really disappointing as American to see the significant support for the Zionist cause and the Zionist Christians and evangelicals. They're a huge part of this problem. And at some point, when this side of Israel and America, the Zionists, start to recognize just how devastating this is for their friends and allies and their paymasters in the Middle East, will they be a force for peace or in a equal time after?
Just some more breaking news. Explosions in apparently, oh crap, on the base in explosion on the US base in the UAE as well. Game of Thrones, jump in.
Yeah, I just wanted to say to follow up, Doc, good to hear from you, sir. And, we grew up in a time, honestly, that if you didn't learn from the Vietnam War, I mean, Korea was a little early. I was born in 55, but Vietnam should have been a wake up call to everyone from our generation as to the heinous bullshit of funding both sides of any war, all of the crap we've endured as Americans, the higher taxation, the higher property taxes, all of this bullshit. And, the longer I live, the more I realize and appreciate the fact that we're doing this to appease a bunch of Ashkenazi fuck, excuse me for the language, but it's gotten my goat. I can't take this shit anymore. I cannot. Okay. I went when I was 14 years old in 1969. I remember floating in the Dead Sea as the missiles were going over to the Golan Heights. Okay. I went over there with my family. I was a kid. I was 14 years old. All right. I to go back now would be like suicide. But I'm one of these boomer generation Christians who grew up thinking that Israel was Israel. You can't talk about Israel. You can't this. You can't that. Even my dad was caught up in this shit. All right. I lost my dad. He died of cancer. He is a survivor of World War II. I lost my dad in 1987. Was 80? No, 83. Shit. I was 26 years old, almost 27. If you don't learn from this kind of crap,
Breaking news,
go
breaking
ahead.
news. Okay, we've got lots. Explosions shake the bases of the Americans in the UAE. Kuwait and Bahrain's airspace is closed. 3 US Air Force refueling aircrafts are operating above Saudi Arabian airspace at the moment as well.
Finish up since there's so much stuff going
Joe,
on,
can you
guys.
just confirm you're okay? Because everybody was worried about you.
Yeah, I'm not in that area. So
Are you
yeah,
are
I'm
you
fine.
okay though? Are you fine though, bro? I just want
I'm
to make
fine. I'm
sure.
fine, but
Okay, cool,
but,
cool.
but Suleiman, look what got hit. Has anything been hit but an energy depot in Iran by America?
In which country?
In Iran.
Sorry?
In Iran.
It was a Keshem Island. I don't know what was actually hit.
Yeah, Keshem Island is all energy infrastructure. The
Um,
whole island is.
Explosions.
And radars too.
Yeah, well, it's energy, oil, it's LNG, oil, and radars. That's all the island is.
Yeah, but they've been at true. But I mean, that's what all those islands are across the Strait of Hormuz. So anytime you hit anywhere in the Strait of Hormuz, that's going to be the argument.
Yeah,
It's
but
gonna
what
be
I
hit.
say, if we do hit, it's going to be limited and it's going to be energy infrastructure. Watch. That's what I've been saying since day one. What happened?
Okay, bro.
I'm
One second.
telling you, it's energy.
Yeah, of course. So 1 second. So when they hit the telecommunications a couple of days ago, was that energy as well? Or?
No, you have military. Like if they shoot where missiles or drones are being fired from, that wouldn't be surprise me. But I just think it's going to be very limited. It's not going to. I think Iran is going to do much more damage this round than America does, and it's going to feel strange that American, which is the shock and awe strategy, is not going to do that here. And I think that's going to be a telltale sign of exactly what's happening. But we'll see. Maybe I'm wrong. Let's see.
Okay. Let me see 1 second. I don't know what this is. Okay, sorry. I'm just looking at the news at the same time. Okay, cool. Yeah. Cool. Guys, yeah, retweet the space, reshare the space, let everybody know we're live. This is huge. We're not going to be ending the space, obviously, as you know, sometimes we do, but we're not going to be ending the space. We need to continue running the space, but I will be going live in YouTube as well at the same time. So I'll be giving news on both. And yeah, that's the latest. Sorry, was somebody speaking when I interrupted? I can't remember now.
It's okay. I was almost done. That's fine, Sully. Carry on.
Appreciate it. And sorry, because I'm trying to organize like the interviews as well. I was trying to get someone in earlier, but unfortunately I couldn't. But yeah, we'll be back in the normal time. Okay, let's go to Matrix Resist.
Hi. Can we emphasize on something? I think there can to be two reasons, or probably more, why Iran is now retaliating throughout the region. One thing could be Iran emphasized that the armed forces of Iran, their patience is running out because the US has violated many times the ceasefire in all fronts, or what happened after Ali Larijani's death. The Iran said basically, if any assassination happens, we go after throughout the whole region, and I'm worrying that maybe one person got assassinated. That's my take. Why they should vote? I mean, maybe it's because their patience is running out. That could be too, or we lost someone great, and I hope we didn't. Sorry, Andrew. The reason, because you're a former Navy veteran, the reason why the U.S. is attacking Iran islands, instead they could just if they go tit for tat, they can just attack some of Iran entrances of their missile cities, so they remain trapped, and the next day also remain trapped, so Iran does not have hundreds of tunnels entrances open when a greater war restarts again. Why do they not do that and just focus on maybe radar installations at the islands? Is this maybe assuming for a ground invasion? Because why would they just attack Iran's islands? It makes no sense. Because attacking Iran's islands and giving Iran reason to retaliate to your bases throughout the whole region is like and expanding your missile interceptors and still Iran hitting.
Yeah.
It's way better deal for Iran. This
Yeah.
exchange of fire.
Yeah, exactly. Doesn't make sense, does it? Because United States can't. They cannot do anything more than just some I'll say periphery strikes like that, standoff strikes. Because if the United States went in full blast, I'm talking shock and awe stuff, the United States is going to take heavy casualties. Yep, we saw it happen. We have all the evidence, hours of preponderance of evidence with military experts. Yep.
Yeah,
But we
and
can
given
hit inside Iran,
intelligence.
though, can't we, Andrew?
Huh? No,
They
we
can
can't
hit
do anything.
inside.
We can't even get, if we actually go inside there, I'm talking because we only have 3 weeks left of standoff weapons, 3 weeks, and in 3 weeks max. So now we got to go in with dumb bombs closer in, and they say, oh, they'll fly higher. Doesn't matter. They cannot, they can bomb and bomb and bomb with the dumb munitions, but they're not going to at all have any effect on the underground bunker complex systems, complexes.
Do we know if they were dumb bombs, or if they were
Oh,
rockets?
that one strike. Don't know. It's probably standoff. I don't have anything, Joe, on anything substantial on how they did it. Probably, my assumption probably be tomahawks or something like that.
And Andrew, given the U.S. intelligence assessments themselves, they reported Iran has 70% of their launchers left and 80 or 90% of their missile cities remain functional.
Yep.
And now Iran has cleared out all entrances. So when a full war restarts, we could expect another time 300, 400 missiles
Yep.
in just 24 hours, just like the first day, if you
Oh
remember. But the
yeah.
first day, the
Yeah.
U.S. was way more prepared. The U.S. fired 800 Patriots in just 2-3 days. But this time they cannot just fire the 500,
Nope.
600 Patriots because that's what they probably the whole region in total. So I mean, what?
Yeah. You're already
That
asking
would
a
mean a double
rhetorical
tap.
question.
Every missile
Yes.
would seem like a double tap because you're expanding your less interceptors and more are getting through 30 to even 60, 70% of missiles getting through. And it means massive casualty event after another.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. You're speaking as in you're surprised. I think we all are of how stupid, incredibly insane this is in the United States. This is why I don't have any reason, no expert can give you any reason. There's no strategic victory here or even end game here for any military strategic end game. It's insane beyond unreason, beyond, I have no words. It's beyond insane, stupid, crazy. I don't have words. I really don't. So let's go in with this further. So if it's insane, why is the United States doing it? I have no justifiable reason other than we have a madman at the helm and
Yeah,
running.
because if
Yeah,
there would be a plan, so at least one great analyst would explain what the U.S. strategy is
yeah,
and
they
the end
can't.
game. It
They
cannot be
can't.
Trump is playing 7D chess or something
No, no,
newly
they
made up.
can't. You bring in a lot people a lot more intelligent than I am, okay? And I'm okay, I'm an average guy in there. I can hang in there, okay? But you get people a lot more intelligent than I am, and Soleiman himself included, and they've analyzed this. They brought in expert after expert. I've been listening for 95 days, spending hours and hours and hours going into these spaces and listening in the archives, and everyone has come to the same end game. There is no winnable doctrine here for the United States. There isn't. Zero. So what's the end game? Iran's is in the driver's seat. Iran will establish itself as a global dominance in that region. And now the only thing we have left to say is, well, maybe the United States wants the straits closed. Maybe the United States wants to have an energy shortage so we can play the fuel game, the energy game with liquid LPG, with the natural gas Joe was talking about. But the end game really is we have to look at this, as Suleiman brought up, the Pax Judaica, and Iran is the only thing standing between the free world and Pax Judaica. And I believe that with all my heart. And I understand what Joe is saying about the United States and the energy game, but that's the bottom line. Iran is in the driver's seat, thank God.
Andrew, quick question, if you don't mind me asking. Um, there clearly is no plan. Is he willing to sacrifice all the U.S. bases within the GCC? Because I don't look at them as
Done.
countries. I look at them as military occupation.
Yeah, they're done. Game, it's finished. I hope we're all using the proper English grammar here. We have to use the present perfect tense. Let's study that super quick, super fast grammar lesson. Present perfect tense is that which is ongoing has already happened. It's already done. The United States of America has lost the war in Iran. Iran won the battle. We have no more military presence because if you don't have a naval force, you have no naval forward presence. All Navy doctrine is based on any global presence. If the strongest country in the world has to have the number one Navy in the world, do the math. I was trained in that. I know Alfred T. Mahan's law of the sea, how that works. Naval power projected. We do not have any forward naval projection power in the Middle East. That's gone, and it has been established over 90 days now. And there will be no more reestablishment of that. And someone says, oh, it'll come back, make America great again. Okay, well, go keep drinking the Kool-Aid. We're now in a new multipolar world. That is past tense. As Simon Dixon has said, as we've all said this, we're seeing Suez Canal.
Breaking news. Let's not mention people who are not on the space. U.S. forces successfully defeat multiple Iranian ballistic missiles and drones, conduct self-defense strikes on Keshem Island in response to attempted attacks by Iran across the Middle East on June the 2nd. Iran launched several ballistic missiles towards regional neighbors. However, all failed to hit the intended targets. 2 Iranian missiles fired at Kuwait fell short or broke apart en route. 3 missiles launched at Bahrain were immediately intercepted. Moments earlier, CENTCOM forces shot down 3 one-way drones launched by Iran towards civilian mariners that were transiting. No U.S. personnel were harmed. Well, that's just fake news, isn't it? No one believes that. What else have we got? Okay, news related to activity of the skies of Saudi Arabia have been denied. Military vessels of the coast of the UAE have been fired at as well. So lots of news coming through there as well. Let me see the last thing I posted.
Did you see the air sorties, by the way, Salman, between the border of Iraq and Iran?
Say that again, sorry?
Multiple reports of air sorties between Iraq and Iran on the border. Don't know what side it's on, though.
Okay.
I would
Seems
assume the
like
US.
once again the US are trying to play this down, so it looks like they don't wanna go further. They just want to take the hit.
It's about a $6 fluctuation in oil price for the day.
Has it gone up? I thought the market's closed though, isn't it? Is it not?
Well, it seems like they knew something was coming. It probably went up like right before. Yeah, the strikes happened. So yeah.
The whole market predicted a conflict based on what the market did today.
Say it again, sorry?
I said the whole market predicted something was going to happen because all major assets tanked and stuff like
Yeah,
oil
I saw like
increased.
the Bitcoin crash. I saw the market drop a bit. So this even, and I was thinking, why has that happened?
Yeah, it's because it seemed that these tensions were something was going to happen. I assume because there's nothing else in the market that would suggest why this would happen. Why the market would react today.
Yeah. Exactly.
But it goes to show oligarchs know, right? The Epstein class knows, and they move their money before it happens.
It's
Funny,
because
Exactly.
we don't
Netanyahu
get the
called.
we don't get the memo.
It's because Netanyahu called off the ceasefire. So to the market, that was like, okay, like the ceasefire's over.
Oh, you think that's the reason for the drop?
It's definitely the reason. The market's not stupid, you know, like they know what things are going on. They know as soon as Netanyahu came out with that statement, that's when the whole thing reversed. And I was like, all right, like this idiot's like gonna like obviously ruin the ceasefire again.
Okay, guys, listen. Also, if you're on the second channel, we're going to be moving to the first channel. Guys, if you're on the space, if there's any huge breaking news, then do open your mic and speak, but be very clear. Tell me what it is in case I missed it because it's very important. And tell me where the news is from as well. Because when I do the interview, I'll have to do the interview and double check at the same time. So, of course, we continue on with the breaking news. But if there's any breaking news from any of you guys that you see and you want to relay, you need to just unmute your mic and then just let me know that way. So that's kind of the way we'll do it. Iran is reporting multiple attacks. Sorry, one second. Iran, no, that's wrong. 1 second. Okay, that's not, ignore that. I misread that. So yeah, that's that. So that's the way we're going to do it. So just so everyone's aware. On the YouTube, guys, if you're on the second channel, we're going to be moving to the first channel now. So just watch out for that. I'm just going to do all the things. If there's
That's
any
the
breaking
latest
news, guys.
IRGC announcement, Suleiman.
Sorry?
The latest IRGC announcement. You probably want to read that out.
Yeah, do you want to read it? I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I can read it.
Yeah.
It says the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps has announced that its aerospace force has struck the U.S. Navy Fifth Fleet headquarters with missiles and drones. The statement said the attack was in response to a series of U.S. aggressions near the Strait of Hormuz. According to the IRGC, a U.S. aircraft hit an Iranian tanker near the strait, causing engine room damage. Iran then targeted a U.S.-Israeli vessel named Penaya,
Causing what do you say that? Injury and death?
causing engine room damage.
Oh, injuries, okay.
Yeah. Iran then targeted a U.S.-Israeli vessel called Penaya. The U.S. subsequently struck the IRGC telecommunication tower in South Qasem Island. In retaliation, Iran attacked the U.S. air and helicopter base in a regional country and the Fifth Fleet headquarters. And then it has a statement. We have warned any aggression would be met with a different and heavier response, and we acted accordingly, the IRGC says. Disrupting the security of the Strait of Hormuz will have heavy price for the aggression of the U.S. military.
Joe, can you send me that, please?
Yeah, it's on one of the TG channels that I know you go to.
Yeah,
That we go to.
just send me it if you
Yeah,
can.
I'll send it to you.
Thank you. Okay, so that's how we're gonna do it, guys. So that's on. That's on. Okay. If you're on the second channel, I have pinned the moral resistance channel. You need to come across there. Come across to the moral resistance channel. The tweet is pinned. Come across there. We're gonna be on there. We're gonna be given the latest news there. So if you can do that for me, that would be awesome. What's happened here? Okay, notice that. Okay, cool. Yeah, it's called Come Across There. I think I've started that. Okay. And yeah, we'll give you the latest news. Okay. On that regard. Yeah. Matrix, you want to add something while I'm switching over?
Oh, yes. Given that the islands of Iran are pretty small, I mean, they're not the smallest, but I mean, they're not very big, and there's still telecommunication and other radar equipment that is still being there, and the US had 5 weeks of time to target all those targets, and it didn't like achieve their objectives, or Iran was hiding them. Iran has maybe a lot of deep underground tunnel networks there. I think maybe there is another reason why the US is still trying to attack those. Maybe it's trying to weaken Iran's eyes over the Persian Gulf. Maybe in the future, the US has more freedom of operations, even with the drones or everything. Because otherwise, yeah, why would you just attack radar installations of a island you're not going to invade, right? And it's like kind of an early warning radar, because Iran doesn't have like the early warning radars of US that see from 5,000 kilometers. Probably it's more like 300 kilometers, like 200 miles. And Iran coasts are like risky, right? So Iran
Okay,
cannot put
guys,
them.
I'm gonna. Sorry, just apologies. I'm not being trying to be rude. I'm just gonna move
Yeah, of
everyone
course.
across now. If you're on the second channel, I'm about to end it. Everyone, come across to the first channel. We're about to go live on there. So everyone, do come across. Click on the tweet that is pinned. Everyone, come across. Like I said, guys, if there's any breaking news, then do give me that breaking news, and we'll take it from there. And yeah, if you could do that for me, that would be awesome. Testing. Yeah, okay, cool. That is sorted. And yeah, lots to speak about and lots to get through. So I'm about to end the stream now. So come across.